What's the last thing that went through Sally's mind after jumping from a skyscraper?
I don't know.
Her ankles.
Jeez. that was an apt one. I like it.
I like to tailor my jokes.
Wife said to me the other day, "You don't fucking listen to a damn thing I say." And I thought, that is a strange way to start a conversation. Go on, Marlon. Hit it.
Good evening, Internet.
Welcome back to another episode of In the Doghouse, the podcast that has less self-control than Jimmy Savile in a children's morgue. Eek.
Coming in fire there.
Coming in hot, Marlon.
Blazing.
Ring the fucking bell.
Ring-a-ding-dong.
Housekeeping!
Right, buy merch. If you don't buy merch, I hate you. If you do buy merch, I still hate you.
Awesome. Okay, right. By the time you listen to this is quite pre-recorded because I'm going to America, Marlon's going to Ireland, so this ain't going to be out for a hot minute. But at the time of recording, we are reordering the fucking OG hoodies. Let's go.
Everyone screamed. That's what we done.
Yeah, new t-shirts. New t-shirts are on order as well. Totally new design. We've gone full spec. We've gone full Miami fucking Scarface 80s Top Gun, all out fucking, neon, what do you call it? Retro wave, I don't know.
Retro wave.
We've gone full spec on these boys. So yeah, they're coming. They probably won't be here yet because the lead times on this shit is fucking horrendous. Thank you, Putin.
But they might be in. Have a look.
Yeah, have a look, check it out, see what you reckon. Get on the website. What's the website, Marlon?
www.indoghousepodcast.uk.
Sweet! Right, yeah, so that'd be great. Also, as always, massive shout out to the Patreons. Without you, the show would not exist.
You'd have nothing.
You'd have nothing. We'd have nothing.
We'd have nothing.
We wouldn't have all this nice kit and be able to fucking afford to put our guests up in hotels and buy beer. And yeah, so literally, thanks to you, and do the mental shit like we did the other day, spend $3,000 on a night. For fuck's sake.
What a night.
It pains me every time I even think about it. I'm like, what? I mean, it's worth it, don't get me wrong, but I'm like, Jesus Christ, we are not businessmen. Even my accountant, like, does the
fucking idiot.
Does the farm was like, you fucking did what? You made good profit and you spunked it all.
You will remember us.
Yeah, you will fucking remember this name.
We are fucking idiots. Everyone knows we're not in it for the fucking money.
No, when I got on the mic in the pub, I should have been like, today shall go down forever in infamy. Yeah, so yeah, shout out to the patrons. Obviously, if you're part of the Patreon, you can join the fucking Discord, which is where our cult resides.
Yeah.
If you are struggling to get on a Discord, I said in a previous episode, I'd send you a link. Apparently, we can't do that because of reasons. But I can send you a how-to guide if you're technically fucking retarded.
It is proper easy. I can even do it.
It's a step-by-step guide. Just get it done. Yeah, so that'd be sweet.
Bada boom. What I'm going to do is I will put that up on the Patreon main page. So if anyone's struggling, go and have a little look. That's a little reference for y'all.
Sweet. So yeah, shout out to you guys. Starting from £1.25 a month. Don't be a scumbag. Don't be a fucking tight ass cunt. Just give us your fucking money. All right, be sweet. Yeah. Anyway, no, I better not push that too hard because the sponsor of this episode.
Oh, wait, I haven't finished yet.
Oh, sorry. All right, fucking hell.
So you can join Patreon for as little as £1.25 a month. That's including the VAT.
Including the VAT.
Then your second tier is £2.50 a month, and then your God tier is £6 a month. And the £6 a month, what do you get, Reg?
You get 10% off the merchandise. It's an investment. You're investing in your future. That's the main thing. You're investing in good kit.
Good gear.
Good gear. And you get access to the Patreon t-shirts that we try and do about 4 times a year. So yeah, there you go. Yeah, we did the fucking Super 80 Certified Scumbag one, and we did the Live, Laugh, Love, Eat Shit, Die. So, it's all there. It's all there. We put effort into it, boys. We're not just cunts.
We are, but we're not.
Oh yeah, whatever.
Right, Reg. Can I just, how did this sponsor come about?
Right, so the sponsor of this episode is a bit unlike any other sponsor of the episode. So we have a long-time listener and a bit of a day one, as we said before, like a day one. People that have been with us since the start. His name's Matt Maggs. You might know him on Instagram as Yorkshire Field Sports. He got in touch with us asking to sponsor an episode. We're like, yeah, here's the rates, whatever. And then he told us what it was for. He said, it's doing the 3-peak challenge for Cancer UK. I was
Raising
like,
money.
I'm not going to take any fucking money off you.
I tell you what, Tag, you shove that money right up your fucking ass.
We'll send you a flag and we'll fucking do it ourselves. So, late last year, Matt Maggs, who, like I said, day one, he got in touch with us and said, like, I'm going to donate you some beer, boys, because they reckon I've got gluten intolerance. I was like, fucking, all right, yeah, same, mate. Like, sorry to hear about that, but we'll take your fucking beer off your hands, no problems. So, yeah, turns out it wasn't gluten intolerance. Turns out he had bowel cancer. So he shit out twice there, really, hasn't he? Bowel cancer only gave away all this fucking beer. So, yeah. So got diagnosed with it. Fortunately, he's had surgery, removed it. He's straight pipe now. So, yeah. And this mad cunt is going to do the 3-peak challenge. But before he does the 3-peak challenge, he has another surgery to do.
Fucking hell.
Like, what a fucking hero. I mean,
Talk about rehab.
Yeah, literally, he's a lunatic. So, yeah. So this episode is sponsored by him. Not sponsored by him, it's more sponsored by what he's doing. So, yeah, he's doing the 3-peak challenge. It is the first weekend in July. The link's going to be in our episode description. Link's going to be in our bio. Link's going to be on the Instagram post that I put out the day this comes out. So it'll have a little fundraiser thing at the bottom. Link to it. There you go.
And in your mum's dildo drawer.
Yeah, and we'll tell you a little bit more about it in the episode as it goes on. So massive shout out to him. Marlon, who the fuck do we have on tonight joining us in this shit house?
We have, can I say, probably one of the most craziest cunts we've ever had on.
It's always the most laid back people that are the most crazy fucking cooked cunts. It always seems to be the way, man. It is. So yeah, we're joined by the king of shithousery, Mr. Dylan Rhodes. How are you, sir?
Hello, dude.
Thank you for coming on. Appreciate it, man.
No worries. Thanks for inviting me.
I'll give everyone a quick rundown. I was just perusing Instagram late one evening as I was making myself a coffee, and you click
on your wanky machine.
The little, very expensive coffee machine. Anyways, besides the point.
Nonce.
Frothy. It does all that and more, boo. Don't you worry. So I was like, the little search function, like the explore button on Instagram.
Right.
So most of it is just like women with like massive tits, because Marlon just spends all his time on there looking at big titty bitches.
That's my trap account, all right?
And I literally scroll through and I just see like a picture. I think it was like, I can't remember now. I know it was somewhere local, and it might have been Clifton Suspension Bridge or something like that. And I see what I now know to be Dylan on there, and I'm like, oh fuck. We gotta get this cunt on. We gotta get him on. Pinged him a message. Fucking got straight back. He was like, yeah, Shag, I'm keen. Fucking let's go. So
pretty sure I was in hospital when I first replied, wasn't I?
You were, man. Yeah, you definitely were. So yeah, we'll get a bit more into that later on. There's so much to fucking talk about. How the fuck we're gonna squeeze it into this episode? I don't know. Honestly. So we'll start off with the guest questions.
Aye.
We usually do how do your week's been first, but we'll do it this way around. So what's your go-to drink, man? Like, you have one? Go-to drink. What's like your standard drink one?
If I have a choice, it will be a rum.
A rum?
A rum.
A pirate's life for you.
Straight up or
either
Coke?
Straight rum or with Coke.
Spiced or clear?
Spiced, preferably. I actually like Dead Man's Fingers.
Oh, really?
Ironically, Elaine Roberts, the French Spider-Man, that's his sponsor.
No way.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I like Dead Man's Fingers before I knew about this as well. But when he climbs up buildings, he's always got a little bottle in his chalk bag.
No,
got a bottle of Dead Man's Fingers in
Just
there.
get a fucking bit of a buzz on, like.
Not only climbing a building with your fucking bare hands, but
also having have a little tiffle light on the way up. Jesus. Imagine. Oh, no. I won't say it. You shouldn't say those things. Yeah, all right. Next question. This is going to catch you off guard. You listened to any of our shows before?
One or two.
Yeah, all right. Right, next question. Marlon?
Favorite category on Pornhub?
Gotta be something to do with midgets.
Just something to do with midgets. Don't matter what they're doing. Don't matter if they've been thrown at a fucking dartboard. Long as they're involved. Oh man, I like it.
Nah, not usually midgets. Only sometimes.
Oh, mate.
Depends how much dead man's fingers I've had.
We're not sponsored by him. Stop plugging them, all right? Not yet, anyway. All right, what's the most mental thing to happen to you on a night out?
I wish I could answer that, but I probably don't know because a lot of the nights out that
I'm going to say,
get messy, I don't remember.
You've led a fucking life, mate, so...
On a night out, it didn't involve alcohol. I was actually on LSD.
I love these ones.
Allegedly.
I fucking know. The shit he's done is just the least of his worries, Shag.
Just bang allegedly in there. It's fine.
I got arrested on acid. I decided to climb a little, it wasn't even big, it was just a little scaffolding structure on my way home from the city. Was walking back from town and was like, that looks like a nice place to smoke a joint, and climbed up it. Was taking a really, really long time to roll this joint because I was tripping the fuck out on acid. And the whole time I was up there, I must have lost my weed and my acid like 3 or 4 times. Found it, continued my mission, and then like maybe after 2 hours of being up there fucking around, the police turned up. I did not want to communicate with the police at all.
You were not. What's the word? Cooperating. You were not cooperating.
Yeah, not at all.
Nah, fuck them.
Did they come up to get you, or were they on the?
They tried, and I was kind of
fucking try.
Come up here.
I was kind of like avoiding them to start with, and then the serious shit started coming out with like the megaphone and like the suicide.
Oh shit!
And I was like, this is not that fucking situation, all right? It's not. I just don't want to deal with you.
Leave me alone. Fuck off.
I was literally telling them, just please go away. I don't want to talk to you. And they came down, and it was like, I've never had a bad trip in my life, never had a negative experience from LSD, but this experience started, and it's like never gone away since. And I was like fully involved in the trip. It just went negative and more negative from that point.
How did it end?
In custody.
Roger.
In custody, I thought I was in hospital. I was like physically tripping that I'd fallen from the scaffolding.
Yeah.
I didn't physically see myself fall, but the situation I ended up in and how serious it was, I thought that it was something that it wasn't. And instead of seeing that I was in a custody suite, which was like really formal and kind of looks like a hospital.
A bit more laid back, innit? By that point, you're in custody. They're like, all right, yeah.
When I was getting pushed through double doors, like all eyes were on me, and I was looking down at my arms. I could see like hospital cables and shit, and I was in a hospital gown, and there was like drops of blood around the floor around me, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? I had a necklace on at the time, and you can't go into a jail cell with a necklace on.
No.
The police, they wouldn't use a knife. The only thing they had was a key. And they were cutting off this necklace that I had on with a key, like a serrated key. Yeah, what? And I'm fucked on acid. I don't know how they don't know this already, that it was a bad idea to do a lot of things to me at that time. But they were cutting this necklace off, and it, for some reason I thought that I had barbed wire in my throat, and that was one of the situations that happened. And each like stroke of the key was like clack, clack, clack.
It's literally things I was cutting your fucking head off.
Not cutting my head off, but pulling something out of my throat. And when it finally cut the necklace off, I like threw up on the ground, and what I could see was like loads of blood on the floor and whatever the fuck they pulled out of my neck. But I was just tripping
balls, man.
Tripping balls, bro.
But at what point did you like come back to reality when you were in the cell?
You know what?
Yeah.
In the morning, they told me, like, I kind of knew when I came back to it. It was a little bit fuzzy for me at the time, but there was CCTV of me they pushed or like walked me by my shoulders into the custody suite, and I was stood directly in the cell for 4.5 hours straight.
Just stood.
Did not move a muscle.
What?
Stood there. And in my head, it was like, because I thought I was in hospital.
You thought you were let down? Like,
I thought I was in surgery. And there's like this blue strip around a custody suite, and I thought it was like a vision glass, and everybody was operating on me. It was like the most fucked up trip I've ever had, man.
I bet they're all sat there behind the fucking sergeant's desk like, look at this weird gun. He fucking moved in 4 hours.
That was the point at which I woke up from it.
You're like,
because there was a guy knocking on the door like, are you all right, mate?
Shag, I get on.
Maybe we better go check on this prick.
But every movement I made in that 4.5 hours was like agony. I could feel physical pain. Like I've never experienced a substance to cause the pain at which I felt. It was like being in a hospital.
Mate,
physically.
fucking weird.
Yeah,
I've never done anything more than marijuana in my life, so like I've got no concept of this.
Probably not the same kind of rough night experience you expect after a.
No, but I love it. This is why we asked this question, because
I've done a few things, but marijuana, the last time I did that, I got stuck in front of a fucking plant pot for 4 hours.
that didn't exist.
Staring at a bottle of orange juice that says concentrate on it.
Literally.
Mate, it's fucking mad. So, how's your week been then? Anyway, all right. So, you're only just back in the UK, really, aren't you?
Only just back in the UK. I've not actually done a lot this week other than sleeping at the bottom of Avon Gorge, maybe. That's probably about as exciting as it's gotten.
What were you doing sleeping at the bottom of Avon Gorge?
Just where I like to wake up in the morning. It's the first cliff that I ever jumped from.
Oh, really?
When I did my first base jump was Avon Gorge, and I've done many jumps from there since, many different types of jumps. It's now like a regular place that I would go to jump, and I feel comfortable. But for now, some reason, like if I don't know, I either stay at my parents' place if I need a bed, or I just stay in my car. And Avon Gorge is usually pretty chill to just...
Yeah.
I get it, man. Like I do get it. Obviously, I've got a house and that, so I have no need to sleep in a gorge. But I do understand. Like I know when people say like wake up under the stars and shit. Like there's been times where like I remember I was younger, like out on a piss, field parties, like 16, 15, whatever, and you wake up like just looking at the sky and looking at the trees, and you're like, I get it. I get what this whole cowboy out west, sleeping under the stars with a campfire thing's about. Like this is nice. Instead of just waking up in a stuffy old room and you're like, oh fucking hell, and you're creaking and going.
Dogs on your face.
Yeah. Like some of the best night's sleep I've had have been on a floor, like just flat, straight into your back, right out. Like, I love it. Then people are like, oh, do you want to come around? You can stay on my sofa. I'm like, fuck, am I going to stay on your sofa? I will sleep on the floor. Like I love sleep. Obviously I've got a bed, so I'll sleep in a bed, but
the best summer I've had, well, maybe not the best so far, but like the most recent summer and the most enjoyable for me so far has been the one where I've slept every single night in my hammock outside in Switzerland.
Fuck.
Like the weather was just on my side the whole time, and every day, every night there was no rain, clear skies, and I was just sleeping in a hammock in the trees. Yeah, it was great.
You're a great proponent of the hammock. I've seen many an Instagram story of said hammock.
Weapon of choice.
Oh, like Fat Boy Slim. Well, you're like sleeping in any old fucking penthouse, any old fucking railway, whatever.
It is incredible the amount of places that I've slept in a hammock. Like the amount of properties, the amount of random locations, like whether it be up high or down low, like in a subway or in a stairwell, in a penthouse, I don't know, just like maintenance rooms of buildings.
Just in a hammock.
Yeah, in a hammock.
It's versatile as fuck though, really, isn't it? Because it packs down to like nothing.
I don't think I've ever slept in a hammock.
I had a hammock once. I couldn't really get the hang of the sway thing.
That's because you're about 4 foot too long for the hammock.
Yeah, and I have the balance of an 80-year-old, so I'm no bueno with the hammock. But I get it. I do get it. Marlonas, what about your week, mate? How have you been?
Yeah, no, I've been fine, mate. Work here is busy, as always.
Yeah.
Dealing with Land Rovers, they're all shit. Interesting stuff. They, so all the new Ingenium shit coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Which is all breaking. Everything's on back order. Everything you need to fix them is on back order.
Always lovely brand new Land Rovers that are like 50, 60 to 125 grand with
literally just out of warranty.
And then you can't get any of the parts for them.
No. Can't get chains. Can't get fuel pumps. Please don't buy one.
Yeah, I know a friend of mine had the whole engine went bang. The whole engine just fucked. And
oh, really? That's surprising.
I don't know if I might have said this before on the podcast, and they were waiting on one bolt. Couldn't get the bolt. Yeah.
Should have made it themselves.
Literally, I was thinking, but I think it's got to be like a certain tensile, and I don't know. In Land Rover, I'm going to tell you what tensile strength that bolt is. So it's like, fuck if I know. But yeah,
I did that with my two-stroke once. Couldn't get the part because the bike was too
just
old.
Machined it down yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
Fucking champion.
All right, don't buy a Land Rover. eBay update.
Yes.
Right, so cooler heads prevailed. I was fuming when I came in.
Give us a quick backstory, just for anyone who didn't listen to the last episode.
I bought a car. It was fucked. Rusty. I sold a shitload of stuff on eBay. And
distraction.
One bloke bought the engine, and it said no exhaust manifold on it. So I sent him the engine on a pallet, and it arrived, and he kicked off because it was my mislisting. He preyed on that.
Yeah.
The exhaust manifold is in the head on those, and I should have said there's no cat on it. So he wanted the cat, otherwise he was going to return it. And I was like,
I just can't get my head around a man who would return an engine on a pallet. You'd have to be some sort of picky cunt, unless the engine's fucked. But it's not because of that. It was because it didn't include
because he was being a cunt.
The cat that you wanted to scrap for 30 quid or whatever.
160 actually.
Ooh, so maybe. It's still not worth me time.
No, still not worth a wank. And the only issue is, like, I had to pay. If he returned it because it was not as described, I had to pay return shipping.
Was it £40 a pallet ish?
70.
Is it? Fucking hell.
So I said I was going to bash the guts out of the cat. I've obviously now realised that's not a good idea, because he will probably know that as soon as he starts it up, there's no guts in the cat. So what I've done is I've taken the lambda sensors out.
Yeah.
And I've put core drills down them. So all that's going to do is P0420 cat efficiency below threshold.
So you bored the lambda sensors out?
I took the lambda sensors out.
Yeah.
Put a core drill into it. Into the cat. Allegedly.
He's something he'd never even realised. It's the most, you clever cunt.
He also bought the bumper.
So but he's going to carry on replacing lambda sensors forever and ever and ever. And it's never going to work.
Yeah.
You evil cunt.
Never, don't fuck with me. Don't irritate me.
Fuck around and find out, bitch.
Yeah. And he also bought the bumper a few days later. For 50 quid.
Yeah.
So that didn't turn up yesterday.
All right.
Funnily enough, because I hadn't sent it. I refunded him on eBay and said, the courier's messaged me like it's been damaged. But I've refunded him. It's been damaged. So he's going into, I basically kind of said, been damaged in transit because it was being moved by man in a van. Like, I don't really know what's gone on. They're sending it back to me to look at for approval or whatever. Now he wants to know everything. Who shipped it?
He's calling you out, basically.
Yeah. So I'm just going to ignore the cunt. But basically, what I'm going to set up is, because I said it was damaged in transit, I'm going to shout one of my mates, and he's going to run over it with a transit.
Damaged in transit.
I'm going to send him a little video, and I was like, shit, I didn't mean damaged in transit.
Damaged
by transit.
Sorry, mate. As you well know, I'm not. Sometimes I write things the wrong way.
Fuck the cunt.
Oh, mate, I don't blame you.
Don't sell shit on eBay. Don't sell shit. Like,
it's not worth.
If you want to get rid of stuff, set it on fire.
Yeah,
it's not worth the stress. I thought I could recoup a little bit of money from this wanky fucking project. It's not worth the stress.
I don't blame you, man. I really don't. Assholes.
So now he's got a fuck cat and no bumper. Reg, how's your week been, mate?
Mate, it's been all right. Apart from one small fuck up on the farm. I made a bit of a boo-boo this week, Marlon.
Did you do Clarkson and try and tear down a pole?
No, nothing that fucking daft. It was a bit of a farming boo-boo. So I've got a water bowser at work. But it's an old sludge tanker. Any farmers that are listening, it's a Molex. I don't think they even still make them anymore. Big fiberglass.
Fiberglass. On a trailer?
On a chassis. Big fiberglass Bowser, like a six cube Bowser on a like a.
What's that in liters?
6 cubes, 6,000 liters.
Right.
So yeah, anyway, so
into that one.
I'm going.
Don't deal with cubes.
I said it on the Discord this week. I'm going to pick it up with my JCB, and on the back of the JCB, instead of having a flat mirror to look at the hitch, there's one of these like convex mirrors. You know, like one of the ones where if you're pulling out from someone's driveway and it's a really asshole angle, they got one of those like convex mirrors so you can see what's coming either way.
Rippy as fuck.
Yeah, man. Tell me about it. The problem is they're like it doesn't show perspective very well. So, and I can't see fuck all. And JCB, in their infinite wisdom, have painted the actual hitch itself red, which is the same color as dirt. So you can't see it when you're trying to hitch something up. Whereas the old one was yellow, it was like high vis, so it was great. Anyway,
You got a spray can, haven't you?
yeah, I've already done that once, but I haven't had time. I did it once and it just flaked off. So I need to find time to like beat it all back. Bare metal, you know. It's one of those jobs. It's like, yeah, as and when. Anyway, so I got to hitch up this tanker. And I'm going to give you a little visual demonstration for the boys here, but obviously
It's got its two fingers out.
Yeah. You'll have to imagine what I'm saying. So you got obviously the
Grow biggie, grow.
you got the hook and the hole, basically. Holes on a tanker and the hooks on the JCB. And I can't see what I'm doing. And I think I've got it because I can see the tanker coming up in the rear view mirror. What I've done is I've caught the pin on the hook on the edge of the ring, and he's coming up like that. And he comes back, oh, you've not even that far, right? 18 inches, 2 foot off the floor. Anyway, and it slips off because as it's going up, it's moving backwards ever so slightly, you know what I mean? Like that. So, and it slips off and the tanker just goes, boom, hits the floor. I didn't think nothing of it because I've done it before, like with bale trailers. You're like, fucking hell. What I sort of failed to think about was the fact that this
Should have had some fucking hair around that hole, shouldn't I?
this tanker's 40 years old. And the fiberglass is fine. The chassis that you could see daylight through was not. When I say it snapped, it fucking snapped. The drawbar just fell off the cunt. I was like, oh no. So it's like that. The chassis is in a V shape. And I'm looking, because I didn't realize, I'm looking at it like, that looks way closer to the floor than it did a minute ago. I thought, I better just get out and check that. Because I went to go hitch it back up again. Look underneath, and it's just clean break. Just a clean break on the end of the drawbar. You can literally see it's been welded. It's just broke on the welds.
Oh dear.
I'm like, fuck. Oh dear. What are we going to do here, boys? Rang the old man. I was like, Dad, I made a boo-boo.
I done a bad thing.
I made a fudgy. So yeah, I said to him, I was like, fucking hell, blah, blah, blah. He's pretty chill about it, to be fair, because I think he
Because he knew.
he knew, because you can literally see, obviously the whole thing is made out of like RSJs basically welded together. And you can see
Like I-beams.
yeah, you can see daylight through the RSJs, so like it's rotten. But what I realised, I was like, yeah, literally, you could, and it, like, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, the thing was, that tanker was empty. So imagine, right, I got 6 ton of water in there, and I'm driving down the road, and I go over a fucking bump, and that drawbar snaps off. That fucking tanker is going to overtake me. Imagine if you go down a long hill, and then it goes on the other side of the road and plows into someone.
Someone dead.
Yeah, I think that he got a bit angry, and then he sort of realised, oh, fuck, yeah, that's probably the best thing that could have happened, really, actually. yeah, fuck. Anyway, so that was out. I was like, fuck, but I need to get the reason I was moving it is I need to get into a shed to go pressure wash him. So I grab a fucking great big snatch chain for lifting in concrete panels, and I wrapped it around what is kind of like, it's an old school sludge tanker, so it's kind of like a pump, but not a conventional pump that you'd have on a new tanker. It's like a PTO-driven prop shaft pump. Anyway, just wrapped it around that, and I lifted it up with the headstock of the JCB. And as I'm going back, I can see the whole pump's kind of rotating, like the whole housing. I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? I dragged it in. I was like, oh, fuck it, it'll be all right. Looked underneath, and it's just rusted all the way. I've sheared it. I've literally twisted it off. You know, like you get like a rusty piece of fucking tube, and you can literally twist it with your, like, each wrist, like, each fist, like going opposite ways. Yeah, literally just fucking like ripped it. I was like, oh my fucking God, this thing's fucked. So yeah, that was
I'm never gonna
no. Never. I thought I was never going to financially recover from this because a new water bowser was quite fucking expensive, actually. But yeah, I just bang it. But the fiberglass bowser itself is fine, so I'm just going to fucking have a new chassis.
Repurpose it.
Well, Dad was like, we'll just get it welded up. I was like, you can't weld to rust, Dad. Like, so we're just going to have a new chassis made, I think. Yeah. Just pop it on the top of there. So yeah, that was big boo boo in a week. Other than that, pretty chill. I mean, I've made my fair few fuck ups on the farm. I've dropped the flat 8 bale grab off the JCB and ripped 2 tires, and I've done all kinds of funky shit. So
we're humans, mate. We're not perfect.
Yeah, oh yeah. If only you could tell my old man that'd be great.
Not a problem. I'll go.
The joys of working with family. Not for, with. Yeah. So there you go. Yeah. So that's it. Pretty much how my week been. Anyway,
the farm that I worked on was with an old man and his son, and the old man was kind of who built all the stuff on the farm, and his son was who controlled the business side of it.
Yeah,
like ran all the horse business side, and it was quite interesting at the best of times.
Seeing the power dynamic, I bet that was...
seeing them get along like a house on fire. And just all the time, every day, there would always be like the nittiest little comments.
If you fucking done it like I said, well, yeah, if you built this farm from the ground up, you fucking understand, you ungrateful little cunt.
Yep.
Yeah, don't worry, I've lived it. I've spent the last 29 years of my life living it, mate. This fucking, it's a fun game, put it that way.
Right, it was far more interesting when you were a secret agent, but
Oh, fuck off, Marlon.
Dylan, how in fucking God's earth did you get where you are? What happened to start this?
I ask myself the same question every day.
As I'm strapping on that parachute, I just think, how did I get here?
You know what? I can actually pinpoint when it started.
Go on.
I had a motorbike crash.
Right.
I was living a 9-to-5 life. I was an apprentice mechanical electrical engineer.
Okay.
And maybe got a year and a half into that. Managed to finally afford my first finance 125. Was riding that to work, to and from every day.
Geared bike?
Yeah. My first 50 was a geared as well, which is why I got the 125 straight away. And then I don't know, I was just like fully in a routine of waking up in the morning, making brekkie, driving to work, doing that, and it was same shit every day. And then one day, I think it was like 2 days after Valentine's Day, 2016, some car driver decided to pull out on me on when I was right away on a crossroad.
Yeah.
And I hit like the front pillar of his car, went flying over it, flew like 20 meters, broke my ankle, open fracture on my right ankle. So my bone came poking out my skin.
Oh.
I didn't realize this at the time because I didn't know I'd never broken a bone before. I didn't know what broken bone felt like. And
you didn't try and stand on it, surely?
Yeah, I tried to stand up.
Mate,
and then swiftly realized my foot was flapping about like a dead seal.
Mama, no.
Yeah. So then led back down again and was screaming at the guy from the floor. I could see bits of my bike all over the ground, like white plastics everywhere. And luckily, like his car stayed in the middle of the road and was blocking the view of where my bike was. But I was on the ground for ages, and the whole experience as a whole was like kind of positive. Like I never experienced it before, so I didn't know what I was in for. Like I didn't know all the shit that comes after it, and all the pain and the suffering and
like
the
initial bit. You're like, this is not bad, man. Like, this is fucking. Why is everyone bitching about it? Fucking footballers.
Yeah, I wasn't too fussed, and when I was the whole open fracture thing was a bit confusing because when you have damaged skin, you have to have a skin graft.
Yeah.
And you either have a burn skin graft, which is like a slitherer skin.
Yeah.
Or they get a potato peeler kind of thing.
Oh, really?
Well, not actually, but
yeah, but like
similar.
Something similar.
Take a little small layer of skin off and patch it over a damaged layer of skin. But when you've got damaged muscle and like the 3 layers of skin that come after it, they've got to replace that. So they took a chunk of my thigh and put it on the hole where my ankle was. And at the time when they first put it on there, it looked fucking massive. Like I was like, whoa, what is this thing they put on my foot? I got
an abscess.
I used to call it a thankle just because it was my thigh but on the ankle. It was called a skin flap as well, and it made complete sense because it was just a flap. Like if I walked, like after it was healed and I was walking, it would just wobble because it was like that.
It's so thick, like
Yeah. Because it was just a chunky part of your thigh as well. But yeah, after that happened and I was recovering, I think it was maybe 5 weeks out of hospital, or 5 weeks after the accident, I'd taken my cast off. Fortunately, because it was an open skin graft, I needed to have an open cast, so they'd take the cast off and check the skin graft.
Yeah.
So I could take this off whenever I wanted to. Took it off, put a normal shoe on. Could feel the movement all right. There wasn't that much pain.
You're like, oh.
For some reason I think when I was in hospital, I was like watching like exploring videos. I think I watched some James Kingston video, some guy climbing a crane. I was like super, super pumped. Got the same feeling I had after I got hit off my bike, but while I was in hospital. And the connection between those feelings was kind of I don't know what the word is.
Yeah, invigorating. You knew where you wanted to go next.
Not like where I wanted to go. Like, it's not like I wanted to do that, but it just gave me a good feeling.
The same.
Yeah.
So when I was back in my city again, well, I was there the whole time, but when I was like back out in the city, I was looking on the horizon at things that I hadn't noticed before, which were cranes. And there was one in particular crane at the time. It happened to be the tallest in the city. I'd never climbed a crane in my life, never gone in a construction site like uninvited in my life. And
that's a very political way of saying it. I've never I've been in there uninvited.
Uninvited to a construction site, yeah. I was just like, fuck it, that's what happens if I go in here. And I think it was like bit by bit, I slowly managed to find my way to the top of the crane. But it was very trial and error to find my way to the tip top in the first place.
And what was the feeling like when you got up there?
I was shit scared. Not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I'm still shit scared when I go up there now.
Really?
But it's just like finding a way to control those emotions. So those emotions will always, for me, they're always going to be there. Like,
really? Even now, you still have the
100%. But when you control those emotions, you're much more like, if you think about if you're, I don't know, you're having a fight and you're really adrenal. I don't know. I never had fights with people, but if you see red, you're gonna fucking flip out and you're gonna throw punch after punch and you're gonna not stop until something stops.
It's all about having a word with yourself, calming down, and just.
But if you're being like, in comparison to an adrenal situation where you're shit scared and you're wobbling, like you can't control your muscles because you're that scared. Like when people get scared, they shake or something.
Yeah.
If you're on a crane and you're 150 meters from the ground and you're shaking and wobbling, it's not a good emotion to have. It's not a good physical feeling to have. So you need to get rid of it or control it, whatever.
And that was the first time you like did something that was just way out the left. Not to say way out the left field, but
yeah, it was a gradual feeling before I like started to climb up hundreds of meters high cranes. But it was like anything that was available that was out of the norm. Like people shouldn't be there. I don't know why it attracted me, but it was like if it's not normal for somebody to go there, then maybe it's cool to go and check out what's going on.
Yeah.
So I'd visit tunnels and like I think in Bristol there's been the magistrates' court was abandoned for many years now. And that thing was super cool to go in. And then a few people found out about it and then it was trashed over time and then somebody set fire to it. But like places like that would just kind of attract my attention. And then eventually photography came into it and there was even more motivation behind wanting to go to those places. It's like instead of me feeling the need emotionally or physically to be like, oh, I want to go and do something. It's like, I want to go and take a photo now, or I want to
document it a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And the more you document it, the more you share it, the more of a community realizes behind it, and then you're like, oh shit.
There's more people like me. I'm not like a fucking weirdo. Yeah.
When I first, like, I obviously saw the video of the guy climbing the crane.
You're still fucking nuts, but like, there's not people like you.
I saw the video of the guy climbing the crane, but I didn't realize how much of a community was like behind the photography aspect of it, rather than just like posting those like eye-catching videos on YouTube and stuff like that.
Like a red circle and a red arrow, like me and this and that. Wow,
I nearly died.
Yeah, whoa, wrecked. No, man. Well, you've done / you do a hell of a lot of shit. So we've got a lot of shit to get into. So what I've done is I've tried to sort of break it down into sections to make it try and get some. Because I was looking at it, I was like, how the fuck am I gonna? I don't like to structure shit too much, but I was like, I'm gonna have to because there's so much stuff to get through.
Yeah,
if I don't put it down in segments, I'm never gonna ask you all the questions and get into all the stuff that I wanted to talk about. So let's start with the tool shit, which is obviously tool shit, high shit. This is obviously a large part of what you do. So
yep,
like we got I've got written here, I've got cranes, skyscrapers, roller coasters, question mark, exclamation mark.
When you ask this, do you mean like which ones have I done?
Well, no, like, I know you've done all of these things. So what, like, how, let's start, the question that everyone wants to know, I think, is like, how do you go about getting into these places, getting onto these things? Like, you know, you're a skyscraper that's under construction, climbing up a fucking crane, because you know, I don't know, there might be an element of just walking in there and doing it, but I'm assuming it's not, some of it can't be quite that easy.
Massive bollocks. You must just go and walk into a construction site and go, shag, yeah, I'm part of this, yeah, I'm just going to go.
Fully. Starts with confidence. Confidence is the number one thing that you have to have in any situation.
High-vis and a hard hat.
You don't need a high-vis and a hard hat, but it does help. And it like adds to the confidence factor. Like if you look like you're supposed to be there, then nobody's going to question that. Like when I got into that building in Malaysia, I was high-vis, hard hat. I was wearing trainers and fucking shorts, and all the other guys in the
PPE was not there.
They're all Asian and like wearing work trousers and boots and shit, and I'm in shorts.
Shagnut comes along with his dreads and his fucking tie-dye t-shirt. Like, yeah, don't worry, boys, I'm here to do the screed.
Yeah, no, it's confidence and trial and error. So if you fail, you either fail physically and you hurt yourself, or you fail with the law and you end up getting caught by security or the police. And you can only really, like when I first started doing urbex, it wasn't really that popular, so it wasn't that popular that you'd get in trouble with the police. They just take your details and then send you on your way.
Just get out, you prick, kind of thing. Yeah.
But usually the higher you take it, like the higher the stakes, the higher the crane, the brighter the day. Like if you do something at night versus in the day, there's big differences in the consequences, because if you're doing it in the daytime, so many more people are going to see you and report you or be like, oh my God, that guy's going to die. But if it's at night, you need to be with a torch for somebody to see you, or like fucking blowing fireworks off, or like with a smoke flare or something. I don't know.
So speaking of which, I mean, how long you been back in the UK now after you left Switzerland? Month, if that?
Not even that.
No, because I saw on your Instagram story last night, maybe the night before.
Came back on the 5th of Feb.
You're just like videoing out of, I don't know where you were. You're just videoing from a high point, and you were videoing down, looking at a fucking construction guy in a high vis, just walking around. And I was like, where the fuck's this going? Like a few minutes later, I see him halfway up a fucking crane, and he's videoing down at the same construction worker with a fucking flashlight, looking for people. And he's like, I'm up here. So like, I mean, we'll get into it later about you being in hospital, but you've been out of hospital like not even probably 2-3 weeks, and you're already up a crane.
This is
you
kind
got
of a little
issues,
bit different.
man.
I would agree, but some issues are worse than other issues. So
Definite. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've been out of hospital for 3 months now. My accident was on the 16th of September. I spent 3 weeks in hospital, left on the 6th of October, and then went into a rehab facility.
Oh, yeah. So
I was in rehab for a long time, and I was just purely training on my physical strength and my flexibility, as well as mental strength as well, because I was in a foreign country and I didn't know who the fuck was around me. I didn't have anybody to talk to, anything like that.
That must be a huge thing. Like I was thinking that when you were over there, I was like, it must be tough, because you've only got obviously people you can reach out to on Instagram. There's no one physically, like your mum's not coming in with fucking, you know, a bit of food and that every weekend to see how you're doing. It's just you, yourself, and a load of fucking people that barely. What do they speak? Do they speak English over there? Or?
In the hospital, they spoke pretty good English, but in Belicon, it was very few in comparison.
Just pointing at some fucking piece of equipment, like that now.
Pretty much.
Bit of terrible French, bit of terrible German.
Bonjour.
Yeah, they spoke more French in the hospital than they did in the rehab facility. In Switzerland, it's super weird. Like in
you got
different regions,
the mad pineapples,
Swiss French and Swiss Slovenian and
Swiss Italian, Swiss German, Swiss
crazy,
Swiss.
Yeah, Swiss.
We had a Swiss bloke on Mad Pineapple.
Not too long ago.
Not too long ago, and he's like, it's really weird how like this country is so split up, and certain counties they speak German, certain counties speak French, and
you drive 30 miles down the road, speak a totally different language, and they won't understand what the fuck you're saying. Like, it's fucking mad.
Yeah, it's kind of. I guess it's because it's so small and in between.
It's
and they've got all the gold.
Yeah, that's true.
Everybody goes to Switzerland. So.
Allegedly.
So, give us a rough rundown. What are some memorable things you have climbed? This could take a minute.
Yeah, it really does need to take some time to think about because.
Well, if you can, off the top of your head, things that people, anyone like, places. Look at me, I'm an idiot. Places that I would know that you have managed to find yourself a loft of.
In England.
In
England, an example, the big one, the roller coaster.
Yeah, I saw that.
Have you been on that roller coaster before?
I went to a what do you call it? A theme park. Is it a theme park? What do you call it?
Theme park.
Went to a theme park for the first time in my life a few months back. Went to Thorpe Park. Yeah, cool, crazy times.
I'm from there. I've never even been there.
No. Neither had I. First time ever, mate. Couldn't believe it. Well, first time on a roller coaster. Shit myself.
You are so fucking Somerset. It hurts.
I know.
I say the big one only for a photography aspect because when it's obviously pretty cool to climb when you're actually going up the steep parts of it.
Are we doing this at night in the day?
This was sunrise. Fuck me, it was such a mission to get there. Started in London, ended up in Manchester, got to Preston, and then from Preston had a hitchhike, ended up walking down the motorway. It was me and my friend Owen. We were hitchhiking on the motorway because there was just no other way to get there. Like all the trains were fucked. Like we'd been bunking trains for so long that we couldn't bunk trains anymore because they were like BTP at the stations, knowing which station we get off at because we tried to bunk so many trains. It was super bad. And then we were trying to hitchhike down the motorway, get picked up by motorway police, and then dropped off at a service station by the motorway police. Hitchhiking with some people just because they saw us with our thumbs out. They were like, oh, look, hitchhikers, let's pick them up. And they picked us up and took us to the next station down. And we were like, what the fuck, it's pointless. And then ended up walking some more. And maybe from we left, I don't know, 5 o'clock the previous day, got there at 3 a.m. After 12.
That's a long,
and then
that's like
slept for
22
2
hours, man.
It was a mission for sure. Got there, slept for 2 hours by the side of the pleasure beach, I guess, by the side of the roller coaster in our hammocks on the where all the
yes,
sleeping in the hammocks. It was super cold. It was fucked.
Blackpool, mate, it's fucked.
And it was horrible. As soon as we climbed that roller coaster, got down, we then had to leave Blackpool. That was worse than getting there. Trying to leave, they knew that we were trying to leave Blackpool in the station.
So they're trying to find you.
So, I don't know if they were trying to find us or what, but they were in the stations like BTP. There's 2 different train stations in Blackpool, and they were just waiting there, checking everybody. And it was so hard. We ended up hammocking on another roof in Blackpool for the entire day. And I hammocked smart. I'd put all my clothes over me and stuff. But my mate just was open,
chilling.
Top off, shorts, nothing else. And he was red as a fucking tomato when he woke up in the morning. Yeah, it was horrible. I got a picture of him somewhere. It looks like it was half and half sunburn because of the fully. And then we managed to finally leave Blackpool the next day. But that's the photography aspect, the roller coaster, and it was a mission.
Yeah, man, I saw the pictures. It looked fucking sick.
But in Blackpool itself, I'd say the tower, the Blackpool Tower, was the bigger achievement because much harder to get on that. You
climbed that as well?
Oh yeah.
Oh my fucking.
And hammocked on it. But the only reason we got caught was because one guy, we bossed the whole thing undetected. Nobody knew that we were there, and then it was the last guy that was climbing through this really small hole had been spotted by one of the workers in the tourist area, a
Karen.
Yeah. Or a male Karen. What would you call the male equivalent of a Karen?
Are they Trevors or
like a Trevor or a Steve or something? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's always
qualified dickhead.
I want to say Darren because it rhymes with Karen.
Oh yes,
I know a lot of good Darrens, so I can't really say that.
Yeah, but it kind of sounds like
it sounds like Karen. So
Karen and Darren. Yeah, no, I'll go for a Kyle. Yeah.
Oh, that's a better one.
Yeah, man. So yeah, you've done some shit. We were just speaking before we hit record that you you've climbed the Millennium Dome, or what is it now known as the O2 Arena in London.
Aye.
Yeah.
Can we? What?
It's just.
I understand the why. I was like, how the fuck do you get up that?
It looks quite because you
big trampoline.
Yeah, it's just it's
really
like a canvas. I see how you can do it. It's like a big concrete slab. You jump on that. You just run up. Just run up.
Since I've seen that shit with that storm that happened and it getting ripped open,
you're like,
I've been like, wow, did I really walk all over that? And like, I was doing backflips on that and running and sliding down the thing. And now I'm like, holy shit, I could have gone through that and like landed
it's made out
on
of shit.
seat 37D and been permanently there, getting scraped off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how did that end?
With great fun. We all slid down it. Like it was kind of like in the morning, so sunrise. And it was like,
down it.
Yeah, like, you know, like mildew on grass?
Oh, mate, just...
Like when it would collect on
Greg was there at the
canvas,
top.
like, and it's waterproof canvas, so it's like
Did you-
super fucking slidey. One guy, you had to control your speed because it's obviously only gets steeper and steeper.
Yeah, as you
Yeah.
go, it's- yeah.
One guy did not control his speed, and he had to like, I don't know what he did, but there's like loads of wires all over the place, and in order for him to slow himself down, he had to like bounce off of the canvas with his hands, throw himself up and grab a wire.
Oh.
Otherwise, he was just going to carry on going and then slip off the end of it.
And what happens when you hit the bottom? You just fucking hit the deck and you just run. They obviously know you're up there.
I don't know. It depends which. You have to get down a different way that you came up because usually they'll wait the area where they've
Come
seen
up
you go
is heavily.
But because there's so many different points on there,
They can't like guard them all.
There are certain areas that are higher than others, but usually it's quite easy to. Specifically when the new people started to climb it, they put these anti-climb. It wasn't like paint, but it was like rollers. So if you can imagine, like a scaffolding bar,
Yeah, it just keeps
but
rolling.
but they put a piece of acrylic
over it,
like,
so you
around
just-
the scaffolding
you
bar.
just
So
can.
you try and grab hold of it, and it would just slide. But it wasn't loads of. It was like loads of individual ones, so it was carnage.
like a big roller wall.
Like the anti-badger troughs.
Yeah, like the anti-badger troughs. Yeah, there you go, Clarkson's Farm. Shout out. Mate, I was in Cabot Circus not long ago with my wife, and I parked up in a car park, and I was walking across a glass walk, and I looked up. Now, anyone that's been to Cabot Circus, which I imagine a fair proportion of our listeners will have, there's a glass walk that takes you from the car park to Cabot Circus itself, and you have like on the glass walk, it's obviously all panes of glass, but there's a small gap, probably, I don't know, 2.5, 3 feet between the panes of glass. And they got these metal bars there. And I turned around to my wife and I said, "You know why they've got those metal bars there?" She goes, "No, why?" I said, "Because a chap that's coming on my fucking podcast decided to climb through that and then run across the glass fucking roof of Cabot Circus."
Yep.
Mate,
The pathway to the one of the best. That was how I met Ali Law. Actually, I invited him down to
this
Bristol for that.
fucking lunatic is just up there. They kick their shoes off. Mine. Take their shoes off before they get on. Take their shoes off. They're just like
Safety first.
There's
Take your
always
shoes off.
safety first.
just cut. Get on a bouncy slide again. Shoes off, you cunt! Imagine that security down there. Take those Air Forces off, you prick! So he's there, and they just start running around, dicking about, and you can hear all these security. They're on you like that. How the fuck, man? Like,
I was
Just think
planning it
nothing
for
better to do.
weeks on
Oh,
end,
so you've
they
been up-
knew it was coming.
oh, so you've been up there fucking sussing shit out with your little
I've
notepad.
been up there at night as well and come down.
Oh, you've been up on it already.
and they'd known that I'd been up there, but they didn't know how I got down. Like there was like so many different points of entry and points of exit. The points of exit were either through the building or there was like another way that we actually escaped.
Did
Eventually,
you just like you get on there and then you just start running across fucking rooftops?
It was. I didn't really want to do that, but it actually worked out in our favor in the end because we spent so long up there fucking about and getting drone shots and stuff. It was mainly Ali and Ricky doing that because they're YouTubers. They wanted the footage and whatever the time. And then I was like, "Oh, let's go, guys, let's go!" And it's the first time they met me, they don't give a shit about what I'm saying.
No, you're like, come on, that's enough now.
And we were darting in this direction, that direction, and every direction we were darting in, all the security would then go to that area.
Fuck yeah.
But because Cabot Circus is split into so many different areas,
You can't.
if you're on one side of the glass dome, you're in TGI Fridays. If you're in another side, you're in the cinema.
Yeah.
If you're on the other side, Nando's, whatever. It's like wherever we went, they would swarm. So we would go in one place, wait until they were all there, and then police would start to appear, and then you go somewhere else, and then they'd all go to that place, and then our actual point of exit we'd leave completely open, and it was like
It's
they'd
not
all
like
go
it
to the
takes-
cinema,
It
but
doesn't take a lot to realize which way you're going, does it? All they've got to do is look up. It's a glass roof.
yeah, exactly. It must have looked brilliant from below as well.
Oh, mate. Honestly, I was watching. I was like, you little cunts, you little bastards. I had to watch the whole thing.
You think it would be hard to escape that, like with that much attention?
Yeah.
But
Everyone's down
because of
there looking up at you.
The shape of the building and the dome, the way the cinema is, and the way the building is constructed, it's got like a pathway that goes around the cinema.
Yeah.
And I
so you
knew
can
this from the start, and I knew that all the fire exits you can get into and out of, I don't know whether you're inside or outside, and you can get from the glass dome to the complete other side of the building where the M32 is, from the roof of the building to the bottom of the building, through the fire stairs, and then out onto the M32. Don't have to fucking worry about anybody. Like, they're all gone. Only thing Ali and Ricky did is they didn't stick with me, and they went off. I think they were out of breath.
That was it. I watched the video, and they go down this dead end, and then all of a sudden you hear, Ali! You're like, oh, he's done.
Yeah.
And you were the only one that didn't.
I carried on
Allegedly.
running forward, and then went up some scaffolding, because the only place the police allegedly don't look when they're looking for you is
even.
well, where you've come from the roof of a building. Where are
Yeah.
you going to go after you come down from a building? Not
Pavement.
to another roof of a
That's
building.
it. They're not going to expect you up there.
I climbed some scaffolding, head up there for a bit. Saw the police cars.
Me up here.
Saw the police cars. I went to arrest Ali and Ricky, just fly by, and then they were coming from all different directions. And then waited for that to chill out. Came down, took my hoodie off and like put it in a bush, and then
Yeah. Change your appearance. Like,
Yep. and watched them get arrested from the other side of the road. The police had no idea. Yeah, I was quite annoyed about that situation because there was one guy with a DSLR who's supposed to be getting like B-roll footage,
Yeah.
and he was like, it was like a static shot that I wanted because I planned the video out so hard. Like I had a vision with how I wanted it to look.
I love that you
and,
planned
Yeah.
this so hard that they knew you were coming.
I wanted him to be stood on the road so you could see the glass bridge from a distance.
Yeah.
And you're like, when you look up at it, you're like, oh, it goes from there to there. And like you could see a group of people running along the top of it, but,
Yeah,
but
man.
like a static image.
That looks so
Yeah.
good.
But he ended up just running along the inside of the bridge and not getting any footage at all. And it was kind of heartbreaking.
Mate, it was such a great video.
I think
to
he's
watch.
probably the whole reason I didn't edit my video on that one. Just because I didn't get that shot.
You were like, no, fuck that. You go
Not
fuck
worth it
yourselves. Like, it was incredible to watch. I was like, because now I go there and I'm like, see that? That's where little bastards got down. Yeah, he went across there. My missus is like, yeah. And I'm just living it. I'm living it vicariously through this YouTube video that I've watched. And now he's here, man. It's fucking mad.
Yep. We that kicked off a lot of shit, that video.
Did it?
Well, not that video in particular, but just me meeting Ali and Ricky. Like I knew a few people from London beforehand, but as soon as we hooked up, I had
Perfect
all
storm.
kinds of ideas. All kinds of ideas.
Did
Lots
you
of-
ever get involved in any of that sneaking in stuff?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, God.
I mentioned Coral Reef actually. I used to go to Coral Reef when I was like ages ago, and I mentioned it to them, and they were like, "Yeah, it's a great idea." And they didn't mention it to me again. And then like the next week after, I found out that they've gone there with another guy, and I was like, "Damn, motherfuckers!"
Fucking
I was
stole
like,
your idea.
yeah, I was so super stoked to like go there and try it out, but they got there before me.
So do you sneak into, you've like snuck into festivals and shit? And
That was, I guess I used to sneak into festivals before I snuck into buildings.
really?
Yeah, there used to be a festival called
That was just like a fucking week every weekend. Like,
Yeah.
WOMAD. You ever heard of that before?
Mate, no, I know a few, not that one.
World of Music and Dance.
Where's that to?
It's in Malmesbury, I think.
All right.
But they do it all over the world. First time I took MDMA was at that festival. Fun fact.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Snuck in, dropped some Mandy. Great old weekend. 5 out of 5. Would recommend.
Went to space twice. Yeah, I'll take me out for dinner.
Met a sick group of cunts from Stroud and pretty much lived in Stroud for like 6 months after that in a forest. Fully.
What the?
Yeah.
Mate.
The things that happen at festivals, they just open you up to new life possibilities.
Yeah.
Fucking met a sick group of cunts and then just went living Stroud in a forest, man. Like, fucking, what a life. What a fucking life. 9 to 5, paying mortgages. This cunt's in a fucking hammock every night, just like, yeah, man. I just like fuck off to New Zealand cement this cooked cunt. Like, let's just go. What, mate? It's fucking nuts.
That's where Lee's just gone at the moment, actually.
Hey?
That's where Lee's just gone at the moment, actually.
Oh, is it?
Disco Boy. He's in New Zealand now.
Doing disco shit over there.
Kiwi
Australia
cunting.
shit. Yeah, Kiwi cunting. It's a good one, that.
One more thing I got to ask just before we cut to a break.
Go on.
I got to ask about the Severn Bridge.
I was actually going to get onto that after the whole Cabot Circus thing.
But it's perfect place to lead into it. It's a local place to us. So, like, anyone that doesn't know what the Severn Bridge is, would you like to explain?
The Severn Bridge is a fuck-off suspension bridge that connects England and Wales. There's two of them, and one of them is better than the other one because you can climb one. Well, you can climb both of them, but one of them you can walk all the way up the cables, and that makes it more fun.
So, where did this idea come from? Just like, we just have to do it.
Well, it's when you think about climbing tall objects all the time, you have a specific selection of tall objects that you have available.
Yeah.
And when you've done this, that, and the other, and only a few of them are left, it wasn't so much that was the only one left because we'd done a lot of stuff after the Severn Bridge.
Yeah.
But that one was local to me. And I had, I think we'd just been to Paris, met a few good cunts in France, and then brought some people back from France, hosting them in London, hosting them in Bristol. I brought some people from France to my place in Bristol, some guys from London to my place, and organised a lift off of two of my mates. I think it was like 12 of us. We had two cars. One guy got brought along as a drone pilot just to stay on the ground. Another guy was just a driver. I mean, it was kind of just the moment we pulled up at the service station nearby, it was just like carnage. Let's go. Just all running towards it. As soon as we
run up it.
yeah.
I
Fully,
don't
right.
imagine there's a massive police presence there. I imagine there's cameras and shit, but
There are cameras, but they were not prepared for what was happening. Not at
What
all.
was about to go down?
No, like there was no forward. Like I'd been across that bridge many a time on my 125 or my 50. Like you can ride along the pedestrian section,
right.
so I'd always pull up in the middle, and in the middle of the bridge, I've only ever climbed the middle of the bridge once, and that was the one I jumped it. But when I climbed it with Ali and that lot, it was from the end of the bridge on the English side, and then going up only one side, which is steeper but shorter distance.
Right.
But when you go up from the middle, it's much more gradual, but more distance.
So you just hit the ground running, and
Pretty much. It's
how many of you is there going up this thing?
10.
Me.
Yeah.
And you just run.
Yeah.
Like run.
It wasn't running the entire way. Like some of us were chilling, but the bridge itself was like you've got handrails either side. Well, not handrails. I guess they are handrails, but
Yeah.
it's designed for structural
Guide
stability.
ropes, yeah.
Yeah. The guide ropes
begging to be climbed.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like
It's
point
his
of
own little personal
3
walkway.
points of contact.
Yeah, 3 points of contact. Yeah, very true.
Technically 4 if you've got 2 feet on the cable. But it's got grip tape on the
I expect your
on the
bollocks
cable.
dragging on the ground as well. With how big they are.
We did it in early February. It was so fucking cold.
Yeah, it's blowing up.
So
Fucking,
cold.
It's like blowing up there. I was betting it.
So some of us had gloves, some of us didn't, and we were really, really struggling. And it was super windy as well. Not
It's
a
in
good
the
time.
middle of a fucking estuary. Yeah, it's
And
going to
that
be
too.
windy.
Yeah, but that's dangerous when you got to jump it as well because
Yeah.
estuary,
Well-
water everywhere. You got
Yeah.
to land in one specific, very,
Oh,
very
you-
specific place, and it's only available when the tide is at its lowest.
So you climbed the Severn Bridge, and the aftermath was somewhat large.
Lots of news coverage.
Yes, I saw you on Points West.
I thought that was brilliant.
I saw your put Instagram story up. Sorry, mum.
It's great.
So was it just basically media? Was there any legal fallout from it?
Not for me. I sold my photos to Somebody actually, Southwest News or something.
No way!
Yeah.
No fucking way!
Made like $500 from that climb.
Shut up! And you were like just anonymous. You're like, these didn't come from me.
No, it came from me. That was my account. Like I could sell more photos to them if I wanted to, but it was just a big story for them to buy the photos.
Yeah.
So that's why they were bought. That's what a lot of the guys used to do. They used to sell all their photos and shit. That's why I
To the
used
press.
Yeah, that's why I kind of stopped. I don't know. It didn't motivate me to climb for that
For that reason.
motivation.
Yeah.
People were doing it for monetary purposes rather than for enjoyment.
And the adrenaline.
So what are you getting, like, obviously you didn't get in any legal trouble, but the guys that did, what are you getting done for on that? Is it trespass? Is it
Now,
Dickheadery.
yeah,
general tomfuckery?
Crazy ass motherfuckery.
there is a very repetitive charge on my criminal record called public nuisance,
Is that all it is?
causing alarm and distress to the public. And
you
it comes in a few forms, but that's the main form.
the sort of
So if
blanket term.
three or more members of the public call the police
Oh.
that are
that's-
scared of your act, of whatever you're doing, you could be running at traffic in the middle of the road.
I could be cleaning me shotgun in the front window.
Exactly.
And-
you could be,
Recording a podcast in a bar.
Yeah.
yeah, but really, really loudly, and all of your neighbours hate you. And
Oh,
they've
yeah,
all- they've
don't
all-
worry. Yeah,
They've all called the police on you.
they don't like
and
me
now
very
suddenly you
much
get done
anyway,
for
so-
public nuisance.
and that's
but
it.
if you-
But
if you
what
climb-
comes with that? A fucking fine?
If you
and-
climb a crane in the middle of the day, you'll get done for public nuisance for sure. But if you can get done for a fine, but if it's repetitive, then it'll be like community service or suspended sentence and then eventually jail time. Or you can get done, depending on how you get into the buildings, for going equipped, which is carrying.
That's it. You don't want to break into them. You
Yeah.
want to find a way which is already open into them.
My main rule, well, the whole reason I do it is to not break into shit.
Yeah, you don't. We
So
don't.
you fight, it's like a puzzle every single time. You're trying to find a way in, but like the actual way in, but like
you don't be taking a battery powered DeWalt with you, grinding
Exactly.
fucking locks off and shit, causing
I
destruction.
do use lockpicks, but
You're not breaking anything.
no, never. I like the rule is to not break shit, and when I start to know that I'm around people that are booting doors off and shit like that,
Tap out.
distance myself from them big time. Kind of why I stopped hanging around with people in London. Actually, it was getting pretty hectic up there. Like very much.
Everyone's trying to push it further and further.
The younger the generation got
Yeah.
involved, the more
The less
damage
shit's given.
Yeah, exactly. The less respect there was for the.
Yeah, that's a good word.
I wouldn't call it a sport, but like the activity as a whole. There was,
Yeah, the
like,
community as well. You're giving more.
You have to have respect for the community in order to be a part of it.
Yeah,
And if you're not appreciating the community, then you will get
You
pushed
don't
out of
go
it.
there.
yeah, you're a bit ostracized, won't you? Yeah. Well, fuck. We got so much more to cover, but we're gonna have to cut to a break now.
I'm going to send you to the fridge.
Trying to go get beer of the week, and we'll be back shortly. My jaw's been on the floor most of the fucking episode, and it will continue to be from here on out. So we'll catch you in a minute. Cheers.
Don't forget to moisturise.
Bye. Go. Welcome back. Been to the fridge. But before we get into beer of the week, it's time to shout out the sponsor of this episode, Mr. Matthew Maggs. As I said to you boys earlier, your man's been through some shit in the last 6 months, and this absolute fucking champion is doing the 3 Peak Challenge. What are the 3 Peaks, Marlon? Do you know them off the top of your head?
They're just really tall.
So it is the tallest mountains in England, Scotland, Wales.
Yeah, so it's Kilimanjaro, Mount Fuji, and
K2.
Everest.
Everest. That's it.
No, so it's Scafell Pike, Ben Nevis, and Snowdon. Snowdon? I don't fucking know. One or the other.
I know,
So
big
basically,
shit.
so in 24 hours, he's got to climb all of them. There's also a 450 miles of driving alone in that, and then also you've climbed 3
In
mountains.
24.
Yeah.
Yes, so it's quite.
Like an overnight challenge, but climbing mountains. At
This
the same
is
time.
like,
yeah,
honestly,
it's quite the fucking thing. And
it's a feat.
and for a man that's not long been through some pretty horrendous surgery and then has to go through some, again, pretty horrendous surgery between now and doing it. It's quite a
They
thing.
straight piped him and they want more.
They've taken this catalytic converter and they want the silencer too. Let's have your pat box, you can. So so he's raising money for Cancer Research UK, incredible charity. I mean, every single person that is listening knows somebody who has either had it or lost someone who, lost someone to cancer. So it's a great cause. Like I say, the episode is the link's going to be in the episode description in the fucking link in bio. And we're going to put a fundraiser post similar to what I've done for my darling sister. Not so much after the last episode, Gilo, you cunt.
No, come on. Don't get jealous because he's banging your sister.
Fuck. No, he is not. Just to make that very clear. Or if he is, I'm going to stop talking about it.
That's your brother-in-law now.
I'm going to stop talking about it. All right. So, hell of a fucking thing he's undertaking. He's going to be doing it in the first weekend of July. We have not only obviously waived our sponsorship fee, we will probably be giving him some money as well when this comes out again. But
that's it. Like, he wanted to sponsor this.
He wanted to sponsor this and give us money to
so we told him to suck a dick.
We're like, no, we'll waive the fee. And then he was like,
he promoted it. He spent that money on himself.
Yes. So he gave the sponsorship money to the charity for himself. And also we've sent him a flag. So he's going to raise the doghouse flag above every fucking peak. So yeah, it's going to be great. We're going to have a whole reel of pictures to put up when it's complete. Not only that, he has put it out there that if anyone does want to join him on this absolute fucking I'd say suicide mission, but maybe that's because I'm unfit. I can barely climb the fucking stairs, mate. Like,
I would like to attempt that, but I'm not any good at down climbing.
No,
I'm only good at
going up and
Can't go
get
down,
the shootout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No going back down.
So if anyone wants to do this with him, get in touch with your man Matt on Instagram at Yorkshire Field Sports. He'll be tagged in all the shit that we do on Instagram. So yeah, it's gonna be the first weekend of July, and more details to come should you want to get involved in that. So massive shout out to you, Matt, and a massive shout out to Cancer Research UK for what you're doing it for. Big up, man. Big up.
Take notes of that and share that on my
oh man,
social for sure.
That's fucking legit. Thanks for that. Appreciate it. Oh yeah. Right. So let's get a beer a week, Marlon. What have we got? Who's it from? What is it?
We have Hanlon's Lager.
Very cold.
Crystal clear.
Very cold.
From our man
Dwayne O'Connor. So it is.
So it is. So it is.
He's not even Irish. I don't.
Thank you, Dwayne.
Thank you, Dwayne.
Shit. No, I know it's not Irish.
It's not Irish, but it sounds like it is.
I know. It just gets me every time. Dwayne O'Connor sounds so good.
Every time I send an order out, mate, I'm like, Dwayne O'Connor.
If I say it just like, it's Dwayne O'Connor, it don't sound right. I know. Yeah, but anyway.
Sounds like less of an interesting man.
Yeah. He's got the sharpest beard lines in the Southwest. Fuck me. Oof. Even got the second episode in the fucking second episode.
Remix.
Too much cider. Anyway, he's got some nice fade going on. Anyway, enough about me sucking Dwayne's dick. Let's Marlon, if you could please, without any further ado, protect me neck and read the marketing bullshit.
Well, there's not a lot, and I've tried to Google it, and there is still not a lot. A refreshingly smooth Devon lager with a light, crisp taste that does not disappoint.
And that's it.
No. To find more about us and how the beers are named, visit.
Oh, fucking hell.
That's it.
Don't plug their website. Fuck them.
Where are you reading?
I'm not reading.
I don't know.
You're looking at a can right now. I'm like,
the fuck? Oh yeah, no. Oh, fuck me. There you go.
That's it. That's all I can find.
I like that. Short
I googled it. I looked at it.
We've had some of them that are like a fucking small novel, and I may like, shut up, Marlon. Done. Right.
Honestly,
anyway,
we've had paragraphs.
Really?
Right.
They do that on a few. Actually, I've noticed.
The whole
breweries.
Text. Right. Without further ado,
Three-way cracker. Woof. Easy.
Yeah, that was my first initial thought. It was like, wow, that's gonna go down like fucking water.
Not offensive.
Not offensive. No. Ideal serving temperature 4 to 6. Yes, bang on. We got that at about, I think it's 4.6 the fridge.
Funny you say 4.6 because 4.7 is my, I want to say lucky number, but angel number. I don't know. Just a number that I see all the time.
That is clear as fuck.
That's super
clear
filtered. Yeah. That's been through a few filtration processes. Man, it's clean, it's crisp, it's sharp, but it's got the flavour to back it up, which is nice because some of these fucking beers we drink that like you go clean, crisp, clear, and then it just sort of fades into fuck all. But that's really got like,
I feel like that's easy to drink. In
yeah,
the summer.
man,
Yeah.
that's nice.
And
Summer drink.
And that's nice at that temperature as well. Like it deserves that level of cold. Like some of these IPAs we have, I've chucked them in the fridge and I've gone, fuck me, that's too cold.
Yeah.
It burns off a lot of the flavour, but that's just, I don't know, it's really good, man.
I like the can as well, even though it is fucking stickered.
It's a printed sticker can, but yeah, it works. It works.
like
You've got the whole fucking industrial feel to it. Got a load of like pipe work on there, and it's silver. And yeah, man, it's just
looks like I drew it.
Aesthetically pleasing is the word.
That's it.
Yeah, man, I'm fucking down with it. It's having a 5. It's having a 5 out of 5 on the old TripAdvisor rating.
Fucking hell.
What about you, Marlon?
Wait a minute.
While he's fucking having another sip, Dylan, what do you reckon? Out of 5, TripAdvisor rating. We don't do halves around here.
Kind of irritating because I was about to give a half.
Yeah, everyone tries to, but just like the drinks, we don't do halves around here, Shag.
I would say there's nothing disappointing about it, so I'm going to give it a 5.
Oosh, good man.
I think I'm on the same level.
Oh my god, it's got the fucking golden rating. It's done it. It's got the golden fucking 5 all round. Where's the button, Marlon? I don't know why I'm doing this. It's so loud for us.
I'm at a fucking 5.
It's done it. It's done it. Well, thank you, Dwayne O'Connor. So that is Crystal Clear by Hanlon's Lager, Crystal Clear, or Crystal Clear by Hanlon's Lager. I don't know.
I think it's Hanlon's Lager, Crystal Clear.
By Crystal Clear. All right. So yeah, awesome. Fucking Jesus fucking Christ. Right then. So we got a lot more shit to ask you, Dylan, because there's a lot more shit to talk about. I don't really know where to go on to from here.
How about I ask you a question?
Whoa, hang on. Whoa, you can. You can try. Yeah, go for it. What is everybody's fucking guess at the moment? We had fucking...
Hold tight.
We had Connell asking us questions last time. What do you like, boys, like to drink? I was like, what the fuck? All right, go on then.
Where is the... I want to say most ridiculous, but that could be a multitude of things. Like the most out of place area that you felt like you've been like, I really shouldn't be here right now.
Oh. God, it's sad to think that I can't think of somewhere.
Deep Ellum, Texas.
What's that?
Obviously, it's not a jumping thing or anything. Just Deep Ellum, Texas.
Texas.
Yeah.
What was his place? What was significant about his place to make you think I shouldn't be here? Was it just like this feeling of I'm so far away from fucking home?
Everyone wants to kill you.
Oh, they're all packing heat. They're open carrying. Yeah. Like it's all, they're armed to the fucking teeth. One wrong word and you get your head shot off.
Any word whatsoever. Don't even fucking look at the cunts.
Ah.
That is not somewhere you want to be after dark.
I don't know, mate. I really don't want to disappoint, but I can't think of anywhere off the top of my head where I'm like...
I can't say that I've been anywhere like that. Like, where I'm...
It was good. It was an experience.
In physical danger. Actually, no, because Marlon was telling me earlier that you got MP5s pointed at you by French police.
Yep. That happened.
Yeah, how did that come about?
That was all my fault, ironically. I was the cause of that situation arising because I got every single one of those Englishmen, Frenchmen into that building. I was the first one to tell, I had Ricky and a French guy. I had them distract the concierge in the building. And when there was such a distraction because it was like the biggest office building in France, Tower First. There's these guys in tracksuits and rucksacks on, like causing havoc in the reception. of course, all the security in the building are going to be
It's gonna
eyes
just
on.
pound on 'em.
Yeah.
Shit, so
So
they
they
literally
were
call, what are they came into the foyer and just started making a ruckus.
Yeah, they were just chatting shit, causing a distraction, and I went round behind them, hopped over the barriers, and I was in like a fire exit area, managed to open up some large doors, and I left my bags outside, and every single one of the guys ran inside the doors and left my bags outside.
Oh,
So I had to run outside, leave all the guys inside who were like, yeah, you're inside, fuck yeah. And I went back outside, grabbed my bags, and had to go and look for them.
Fuck.
We did our thing, navigated our way through the building, found our way to the roof. Me and a guy called Alex, we squeezed through something like twice the width of a letterbox to get onto the roof.
Fuck.
Yeah, that was pretty hardcore. And then we opened up a thumb turn on the other side of the door,
Yeah.
let all the other guys up. Had a whale of a time on the roof. It
And
was
then you realised-
super cool. And then saw all of the sirens and
I saw
heard all the
the
noise.
I saw the video. So
So do they think it was terrorism or something? Or is that just how the French react?
I guess it's just how they react.
Well-
like they didn't know what was going on. The security in the
twice,
building.
never fired.
Well, they love a protest over there, so they're not scared of kicking off, are they?
Oh yeah, they kicked the fuck off over there.
The armed police turned up for you just walking on the top.
But
of the
Yeah.
it
fucking-
wasn't just armed police, was it? Like, I saw
It
the
was-
video, and there was like 5-6 fire engines.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know why fire engines turn up for a 230-meter building.
especially with their like 200-foot ladders. Like,
There's not a lot that they're going to do.
no,
But I suppose if we were terrorists and the building was on fire or burning down, then they could do something.
Yeah.
But we were just guys with cameras.
You prick.
We just got like a 4x4 sheet held out at the bottom,
You imagine.
just walking around in circles, trying to angle us up.
So yeah, you climbed down and
The thing is with this situation is I was the only one that was not caught.
no.
Right, I actually handed myself in to all of the police at the end because I had a phone that had no battery, and even if I had battery on it, it had no like SIM card that worked in France, so I wouldn't be able to communicate with anybody who I knew was going to get arrested. So I knew that they were all going to go and get however many hours in a police cell. And for this time, I just didn't want to be like stranded and not have a way to communicate or reconnect with them because I'd be fucked and lost in
Yeah,
France.
yeah.
So I don't know, maybe there was like 5-10 minutes of them speaking to the anti-terrorism police and shit like that. And I was like, okay, I've actually got to go down and introduce myself and
Say, look, I'm this guy.
I'm here as well. Arrest me too.
Baguette.
Mon ami, je suis croissant.
So after that, they take it pretty chill, or were they like,
I mean, they obviously knew what we were doing, but they had guns, so they could just point
Yeah.
them at us because
Yeah,
they could do that.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think they took the opportunity that they had available and
Yeah.
scared the shit out of us. And we were scared shitless. And
As anyone would be
I think
with
the French
a-
guys were more scared than we were because they had.
they know the score.
They have to live there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, whereas you're like, fuck this, and go back to England. Like, what are you gonna do?
Pretty
Yeah, fuck
much.
the French.
Fucking Brexit. cunt.
Yeah, we
On the wall.
were. That was kind of how it was then. Like when we were traveling in European countries, we had no, how would you say, barrier. Like there was no limit as to what was
Acceptable.
Yeah,
You can kind
no
of do you,
recourse,
boo.
no recourse in a way. Yeah.
yeah. Like obviously we didn't want to kill anybody, but
No, but you're like,
but
fuck it. What are you gonna do?
Our mission was to get on the tallest object in wherever the fuck we were, and that was going to happen. Obviously not breaking in, but finding a way there.
So that sort of leads quite nicely onto legal issues. We've already sort of briefly been over it. You've been in a lot of countries doing a lot of, the legality of it could be questioned, shall we say?
All right.
What are some of the situations you managed to find yourself in? I bet you've seen the inside of a few police cells.
I've seen French, German, Dutch, almost Malaysian. Fortunately, not Malaysian.
English?
Maltese. Lots of English.
Maltese.
Maltese.
Malta. What were you climbing in Malta? A rock?
I thought it was a fucking. That was a dog brand.
It was a hotel, but they're just super strict about.
Really? They're like, do not fucking.
Really strict about trespassing in Malta. I don't know why, but they were.
Well, they ain't got anything else going on, really. Have
Yeah,
they?
I suppose. Yeah.
Tourism and locals, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
Fishermen.
no industry over there, really, is there? Apart from, like you say, tourism and fishing.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, fishing.
Strangling young girls. I think they're quite good at that.
Yeah, and blowing up the person who leaked the Panama Papers. Yeah, car bomb.
Yes.
How could we forget?
Yeah, how could we forget? So what have been the nicest police?
Overnight stays.
Yeah.
Oh.
Germans got to be up there.
I can't imagine them.
I'm going to say the only, France was horrible, but the only reason it was good was because I was with Ali and Alex in a cell together.
Oh, right. Oh, so you got chucked in as one.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Ricky was the unlucky one. He had some fat French guy that was farting and snoring all night.
Mon ami.
And the other, I think we were split up as well. We weren't all in one station because in Paris, there's so many different police stations dotted around. We were all in different locations. So when we were all released, it was all at different times and different places. It was carnage. It was quite hard to figure out. But the only reason it was enjoyable was because I was with friends. Usually when you're in a police cell, it's alone.
Not comfortable.
And not comfortable.
I don't blame you, man. I mean, so I can only imagine getting arrested. If you were to be arrested by Malaysian police, that would not been...
That would have never ended well.
Fucking sucked.
Because their prisons are a different level.
Here
we go. Here we go.
I didn't realize.
One was, see?
You can tell you don't want to talk about it because he's not talking into the mic.
It's not worth putting in the podcast. But,
oh, really?
Yeah.
We can cut this out.
I travelled to Malaysia with weed down my trousers. I didn't realise.
You fucking daft.
I didn't realise that it was a death penalty for anything more than a gram. So when I met up with a Malaysian dude, a local who was doing parkour and shit, and I was smoking weed. He's like, "Yo, how do you get weed?" And he's like, I said, I brought it over on the plane. He's like, "Yo, fucking put that shit away. Don't smoke it out here. Smoke it in the most private place you can." And you are the most stupid person to have traveled on a plane with that, because if they caught you, then you would have been given the death penalty.
Their sort of president is this what is he? Very kind of far right, but very zero tolerance, very totalitarian. It actually has gangs, not even gangs,
Militias.
Yeah, but it's kind of it's a militia, but it's state funded militia. They just ride around on motorcycles, and if they suspect you of dealing, there's no trial, there's no nothing. They just shoot you on the fucking street. That's right, isn't it?
Depends where you are in Malaysia.
Yeah,
I was in Kuala Lumpur, and it was very economical, business district.
Yeah,
it's very touristy.
You go out in the fucking sticks. It's that's matey. We reckon he's growing weed. Blap. Yeah. It was a big thing about 3-4 years ago.
It's that busy out there that would be
a thing. People wouldn't even think about it.
It was 3 a.m. after I climbed that fuck off building there, and it was like a party in the street. There were like 4-year-olds on the street with their parents. 4 a.m, and it was fully you walked through
lit to fuck.
City Centre in Bristol at 1 p.m. on a Saturday. It was the same shit, but 4 a.m. in the morning. It was super weird, man. I'd not experienced that in another country before.
Please research the places you go from now on, for fuck's sake. Daft cunt. Have you done any of this sort of high-rise climbing in the Middle East? Because that kind of thing makes me think, I reckon they don't fuck around over there.
No, my mate just climbed the tallest building in Egypt. And he climbed the pyramids. Well,
What?
yeah, 2 of them. 2 tallest ones.
I bet they get quite arsy about that, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, oddly enough,
He
the one thing that people
away
go
with it
to Egypt for.
He got shot twice.
He's got a piece of the pyramid under his bed.
No.
From the top, the very tip top of the pyramid.
Just fucking chipped a bit off for the old Leatherman.
It was just a rock up there, and he just put it in his backpack.
You're coming with me, gun.
He sent me a picture.
Why is he Scottish
after
all of
he'd
a
done it.
sudden?
I don't know. I always think when they're just like doing bad shit, they're Scottish.
He's
Yeah.
Arabic. Actually, it's like as far away from Scotland as he can get.
with me.
I'm building that wall.
Oh mate, so you've never like I always think like I know they're pretty fucking harsh over there.
No, I've only gone Malaysia and Europe.
I think that's the safest bet.
I was gonna say I'd steer
it's
clear.
when they fuck around and find out kind of shit.
Yeah, literally,
Like,
it is fuck around.
I'd like
out.
to, but
Death
my
by stoning.
What was that fucking ex Love Island girl that when she got there was a video leaked of her back along snorting a white substance off a table, unconfirmed what it was.
Ariel.
Like the video was leaked and it was apparently in Dubai or one of the UAE or one of these sort of Middle Eastern countries. And she went back there. She got arrested straight off the fucking plane. 3 months in jail.
Oh,
They don't fuck around.
no,
They don't fuck around over there. Yeah,
they
man.
are some Nazi cunts.
Wow, brave. Okay, oh, Roger.
I'll never go.
So, you've been to prison.
I have.
Yeah. Can you tell us how that came about? You said it was quite the story.
Short story.
Well, it's a podcast, mate. It's the king of long stories.
I picked up the hat that you're wearing on your head right now.
Yeah,
Like
it's just a basic Yupong snapback.
Just exactly, but like the U ones. Just a basic baseball cap that said the word police on it. It wasn't like a police helmet. It was just a baseball cap that said police on it.
And it wouldn't, I tell
Right?
you what,
Yeah.
that would not have been Yupong.
No, it wouldn't. It'd have been Beachfield.
Beachfield. They
nasty
fucking
crap.
basic ass bitches over there.
But that was what was seized from my car 3 days after the protest.
No,
And that was the only evidence that they had to put me in.
they'd put you there at the time.
Yeah, they sentenced me to 4 months in HMP Hallfield for.
Nothing.
What was the
Effectively.
charge?
When they arrested me 3 days after, they knocked on my parents' place. They knocked on my girlfriend's door at the time, which I was at, and raided both of the places at the same time, looking for riot equipment. They seized my back brace, which was used for when I broke my back like 2 years ago. They thought it was a riot thing.
They're not very bright.
No. Loads of cannabis seeds, loads of hard drives, camera equipment, my laptop, my drone, clothes, spray paint. I had an airsoft pistol in my bedside cabinet. They
Firearm!
they took everything they could and they
Get it all
seized
back?
it. I got it all back apart from the seeds and the pistol and the spray paint can.
I'm surprised they didn't do you for the pistol, because if it wasn't sprayed, if it's not over 50%.
It was before that law was brought in. Yeah.
Oh,
It was
so you didn't get charged for it, but they were like,
Beretta-
you're not a part of an airsoft club, so you
Yeah,
can't have it. Oh, you lucky bastard.
Yeah, it was an old airsoft gas blowback Beretta. I don't know how I got away with it, but
Yeah, man, that's good, because if they wanted to, which by the sounds of things they did want
the
to.
fact that there was some bloke behind me on the night that had a gun on the roof,
We just
I'd
hide
be
it.
like, oh, you're that guy.
Oh, so the one you later met in prison.
Yeah.
What was he done for? Just same sort of thing.
He was done for the riot. I guess. I think.
Never found the gun that he buried.
And I guess not. I didn't hear anything else about it. But
You should have dropped the pin, mate.
the charges I had when they arrested me was violent endangerment, which is like riot, basically. Arson with intent, which is setting fire to something, because the police cars were on fire at the protest.
Now, I saw the video that you took of the police car that was on fire that you were right next to. So,
I was dousing that with water, but in court they tried to say that I was dousing it with petrol.
oh right,
But I swiftly followed up with their statement by saying that I took a swig from the water bottle very obviously after I sprayed it on
on video.
Yeah, because I sprayed it and I was like, oh no, and then I went like this to make it look like, because I knew there was a camera there.
Yeah.
I was filming it myself, but it was like, if there was a CCTV camera there and they wanted to try and pin
they
you,
can frame
like,
it however they want.
I can drink this right now just to get away with the whole petrol charge.
But
Whatever.
they tried it on anyway.
They that was one of the bits of evidence they pulled up, but there was like no evidence of violent endangerment. There was no evidence of arson. There was no evidence of criminal damage. I was just sat there with a camera my whole time, just taking pictures of people.
Yeah.
And the only time that I committed the crime that they
was literally picking up the policeman's hat.
I was walking back to my car from all the carnage, and there was a police hat on the floor,
like,
which
nice.
I picked up and I put on my head. And I was walking around taking pictures with it on my head.
Which I think any of us
oh, nice,
would
police hat.
actually do.
I was absolutely dicked by the system. They
So did you go to trial, or did you just plead guilty?
the only thing I pleaded guilty for was the theft of the police hat.
Yeah,
Because there's no way that they can.
No, you ain't getting out of it.
No, because there was like visual evidence of me picking it up off the ground, putting it on my head. It was in my car. I was like, okay, I can't say that I'm not guilty of this because I did do it. And that was what they...
But also, finders keepers, losers weepers.
Exactly that.
I was astounded with the way... Like, I did not expect to go to prison. I did not pack a bag. I did not...
shit, you thought you were just going to go in there, some fine community order, a suspended sentence.
That's what I expected.
And then you were
my car was parked outside on like double yellows.
That is how much confidence you had. I am going the fuck home.
And yeah, I had to give my keys to some guy in court, and he would like, I gave him the number of my brother or something. He gave my car to my brother. And then there was some people like from a charity, I can't remember who they were, but they saved my ass. They like donated money when I was in prison. What are they called? Bristol Solidarity Defendants. That's what it was.
The Bristol Solidarity Defenders. What do they do for you then?
They were a group of volunteers who were not convicted of any crimes at the protest, but they were helping arrange legal defense for every single one of the protesters.
No way.
Was
like, so you actually had a private defense, not a...
I got my own one, but they were offering a different one off their own expense, which
That's pretty sick, man.
I declined their one because my solicitor at the time had arranged like a barrister that was shit hot in Bristol, and they got all of the charges that I would have been...
you would have been fucked.
I would have been, like, there was no evidence of those charges anyway, but like this barrister just straight away just asked, dismiss these because they're not relevant.
Yeah.
And they got me out of that straight away, so I kept with the solicitors. And then it was like 2 weeks before, I can't remember, it was like a week before, and they pretty much told me, like, pack a bag. And I was like, really? I was like, I really don't need to do that. Like, I picked up a hat from the floor. I'm not going to prison for this. And they were like, yeah, but...
They're looking to throw the book at every fucker.
Yeah.
Exactly. They knew...
Make an example.
They knew what was coming for the people who were getting charged with the protests, like the rioters. And I wasn't a rioter, so I didn't pack a bag. And I got given a bag by the Bristol Solidarity guys, which had...
all the fucking...
had a few books. Had the funny thing was they didn't let you keep anything from the bag as soon as you get into prison.
Oh, you're kidding.
So any of the books, you only get to keep some shorts or a t-shirt.
Yeah.
But if it's got no strings in, you don't get to keep any shoes. There was other shit in there, like the toiletries and stuff, toothbrush. You can't keep those because it's outside of prison products.
Yeah.
The only thing that's allowed inside of prison
things
walls.
that they've deemed that can be in there. Yeah, no, I understand that. What was life like in prison then for the 4? So it was 4 months, or did you get out early with good behaviour?
I was sentenced to 4 months, and I wasn't expecting to get the whole half sentence thing, but it happened anyway.
Oh, that's all right.
I also got found planted with a phone, a little Zanko phone in my cell at one point. And I thought I was going to get the whole 4 months because I was planted with a phone in my cell. It was like 2 weeks before the end.
Do you have any idea who planted it?
No idea, no. But I didn't know it was there either. Like there was a big fucking cell search. Like the whole prison got locked down. There was police officers that got called in as like a search team, search division for the prison.
To flip everything.
The whole prison got locked down. Every single cell on B wing. There's like I guess 100 people in the wing. 3 floors, like 30 people on each floor ish. And then every single cell got locked down. There's no toilets in the cells, so like the whole time the search was going down,
no one could piss.
Yeah, nobody could piss, nobody could wash their hands, nobody could shit. Like, you couldn't do nothing. And everybody's screaming, everybody's kicking off, and everybody knows there's a search going down, and there's shit getting thrown out the windows. People patrolling around the wing
to make sure
with dogs, like picking up shit that's getting thrown out of windows. And then anything that is left in the cells, like they do deep searches. And apparently in like the bedpost of my bed, there was a tiny little phone. And when I got released from prison, I ended up having such a fucking ball ache, keeping on having to go back to court, back to police interviews because of this phone that wasn't mine. I had nothing to do with. I was in prison for 2 months. I had no reason to have a fucking
you just sit there and chill.
People have these phones because they're drug dealers and they need to deal drugs in prison or keep their business running from prison. And I did not have that.
Yeah, I think that's your main excuse. Like, I'm not here for long enough to ever need this fucking thing.
That's exactly what I said in the interview. But they were dragging it out until the final court process where they were like, okay, there's actually no evidence.
The thing is, they want you to plead, don't they? They're just going to keep you sweating until the last minute where you go, no, I'm not fucking taking no deal. You can go fuck yourself.
It's definitely not innocent until proven guilty, is it?
Fuck. So did you have a cellmate?
So for the way the prison system works right now is still in COVID system.
Still now?
Still.
Is it?
Because it's easier for them to run that way. Like 23 hours lockdown a day, pretty much. I'd say pretty much, like, if you were to total it up, like 1 hour exercise and you get maybe 10 minutes, to get lunch, 10 minutes to get dinner, and then there'll be like, I don't know, like 20 minutes, half an hour domestics where you get to shower and do your washing and shit.
Yeah.
But it's very, like, the only thing you can do is like read or do cell workouts and shit. It's super...
brutal.
Invigorating.
Yeah, fucking brutal.
I was in a remand prison, so it was kind of a bit of a different system, the way that it worked.
I assume it's a little bit more lax.
Kind of, but there's also it's a lot more chaotic because there's a lot more mixture of people. Like people coming in and people coming out. Because remand is like if you're on license on, I don't know, if you've been called into prison, but they need to find the evidence for you to actually be in prison, you'll just stay in prison until they find the evidence. It's weird the way that it works, but
it's interesting.
They have certain prisons where they just keep people until they have
until the court date if they can't make bail or whatever.
Exactly, yeah.
I think like. I don't know. I don't think I've ever known anyone. Would be very fortunate in that I can't think of anyone off the top of my head that has ever been in prison. So it's a whole new thing to like ask questions about. I don't know where to fucking start.
Like we've watched the documentaries.
Yeah. But to sit down across from someone and actually ask the questions, it's fucking like a million questions. I can't think of a damn one. Like fucking mad.
You'd have to know a lot of different prisoners in order to know exactly what prison's like.
Yeah, that's it. I feel like just speaking to you, I get a very sort of, not maybe a very small sort of clip
aspect of it,
of how it is. Yeah, like obviously
very much so.
You did like 2 months, so people have been in for like 25 years and shit. Like yes. I think I imagine what you, as you said about it being a remand prison, I don't expect is there really any power dynamic in there between the prisoners, because it's also in and out. It's just like you're just a bunch of fucking like like you say, it's just everything in there.
There is a power dynamic for sure, and there's corruption as well, but it's on a bit of a smaller scale than it would be in a large
There's
prison.
no big King Dick that's going to be there for 10 years,
20 years. He's like building an empire.
Kind of is,
really,
but they pop in and out. So it's not like a permanent thing.
Oh, so when they're in, it's like, oh shit, mate, he's back in. Like, if he's the fucking
So if he's
a big deal outside, he's a big deal inside, kind of
like
thing.
If there was a big deal coming into the prison, then people would know about it and they'd talk about it before they're even there.
Oh, right. So it's all kind of like everyone knows the score and knows the fucking.
It's weird the way the communication worked in there, because the people that had like the little phones and shit before there was the big
tiny little ones. Yeah,
they were all the ones that had the communication side of things, like that knew what was going on, and then people would run off them with information, I guess. Yeah. But you'd still get little. You call them YOs, youth offenders, coming in all the time that bad attitude motherfuckers that are just causing
fucking scropes.
Yeah, just
no respect.
As well as like people with bad mental health that shouldn't be in prison.
They shouldn't be in fucking prison.
We had, so the way the prison was, it was C wing, which was a COVID wing. You'd go there for 2 weeks before you get put in another wing.
Is that like
isolation?
Quarantine, yeah.
But the only time I had a cellmate was in C wing. He'd been in prison before. He was just pretty chill. He smoked spice, so I didn't really trust him that much.
Oh, Jesus.
He smokes what?
Spice. Remember the synthetic cannabinoid that was big like in like 2010, 2012? It was just like 20 times stronger.
I think it was very different back then. Because it was like legal and sold in shops.
Yeah,
now they just make it out of like rat poison and fucking bleach.
Yes,
the thing is, the moment you make it illegal, then people can do what they fucking want, can't they?
And he was telling me about like how it worked and like how like it worked in prison and stuff, and I just was not a fan of it whatsoever. Lighters as well. You can't get open flames in prisons.
No, it's like batteries and tinfoil and shit. Or
pretty much, yeah. It's like you get a vape that you can use. Disposable.
You strip it apart and get the heater element out. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
they use vapes to.
They have. Can you have vapes in prison?
Vapes, not vapes like that, but
no,
vapes.
but those single-use elf bar
exactly.
shit.
And not the elf bars, but it's like it's got a liquid in, and you can see the heating element, and you can.
Right, so you can see if it's been fucked with.
You can break it apart.
This is effectively a mobile bomb.
Yeah.
If you take it apart and put things in the right places, I guess so.
Yeah, like what was it? High current discharge of a lithium-ion battery.
You just got to short the batteries, mate. Just got to short the batteries.
Yeah, boom.
Good fun.
So it's all good fun. I want to lead on to what happened in Switzerland.
Hold tight.
Hold tight.
Before we go on to this, I just want to ask.
You're going to make the listeners wait a little bit longer.
What was the worst like misstep you had? The scariest moment, which you thought, shit.
What, while climbing? You mean?
Climbing.
What I think is you're climbing a crane or you're climbing whatever, and you put your foot in the wrong place and you go fuck.
That it's definitely happened, but I've not been in a situation where I've been unstable enough for it to cause me like instability or a lack of control to be like, oh my god, I'm gonna fucking die. I've never been in that position before. Not that I can think of.
What's the how do you put yourself in a position like that then? Is that just like this is how I do it? I never.
I don't know. I think it may.
Reg, 3 points of contact.
Yeah, 3 points of contact, man.
What I was talking about with the control of emotions thing, like not letting yourself lose your shit before you get there.
Yeah.
And I think that also comes into play when you have like a alarming situation where you're like, oh my god, I'm going to die. You need to realize that you're not going to die before that you realize that you're dying.
Yeah, you sort your shit out before, like
that's fucking mad, really.
A foot may slip,
but all the if fucking Jesus, if I'm
honestly, I can't go above 20 foot anyway.
If I'm climbing up the fucking bell trailer and my foot slips, I'm like, oh, I'm dead, I'm dead,
Mama, no.
Yeah.
Just as an example, I showed you the video that I was working on. And in that clip, there was a church in Germany, like a really...
Yeah, I saw that, and it was fucking
super
terrifying.
pointy spire.
Yeah.
I climbed that once with my friend Osama. The guy did the...
Osama been climbing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's the one who was doing the pyramid.
Oh,
Yeah. He
Allegedly.
Osama bin
Allegedly.
Chislin.
we did the church together, got some ad shots, and then I went back to Frankfurt with my parachute this time, where it eventually got seized. Different story, but I climbed the same church again solo. When I did it this time, I was much more focused on my own movements rather than, I don't know, communicating.
Anything else?
Yeah, like it was a distraction having somebody else there. So when I was doing it alone, I was more aware of what was around me.
Definitely
and when I
more
was
conscious.
starting the climb,
Much
like
more efficient.
like all of the stuff on that spire that you could see is all like loose brickwork and
Old.
concrete work.
Yeah, all the mortar's fucking cracked and
Exactly.
brittle.
And I
you're
was
like,
just about to put my foot somewhere and decided in my head for some reason, I'm going to test this with my hand and just give it a wobble. And I gave it a wobble and it fucking wobbled.
No.
And I was like, holy shit, I was just about to put all my weight on that to push myself up a little bit higher.
that would have been it. Because it's all for like the listeners.
Maybe not have been it, but
Yeah,
it
but
would
this-
have been a fucking close
Shit
call
show.
for sure.
The
There's
listeners,
no rope.
obviously, yeah, for the listeners, this is all free climbing. Everything we've spoken about, there's no ropes, there's no
Yeah.
no safety apparatus, bar a parachute. In some instances, not all. It's some fucking scary shit.
Yep. There's been situations on cranes where, like, I climbed one crane in Bristol barefoot purely because it's like induces safety. You have more grip with your bare skin than you do with the rubber that's on the sole of your shoe on some cranes. If it's a brand new crane that's just been powder coated and it's been in the summer air for 6 months, it's covered in loads of dust and shit that's in the air. You climb that with the rubber sole, you're going to slip all over it, but you climb it barefoot, you're going to stick to it like
Yeah, it's a grip, and
super glue.
yeah.
It's but if you climb it in the rain though, it's like the opposite to being barefoot. It's like the squeaky feeling that you hear on
Like
metal,
supermarket
like-
floor or whatever. Yeah.
it's exactly that. Like when I was climbing that crane, the recent one I did the
Yeah.
other day, 177 days out of rehab, or 177 days after my accident, climbing a crane in the rain, and my shoes are fucking going.
Oh,
And when you also climb cranes, you like to take them over?
I don't like to, but if I would like to take a nice photo, then sometimes I will drive them in order to move them into the right
off.
position.
Yeah,
fuck off!
I saw
Yeah.
this.
I suppose there's no
on-
point locking the cunt, is there?
No keys, literally. You pressed a few buttons, it come fired up.
It's the same as like a digger or a dumper truck. Like
Yeah, it's all the same controls. I'd
safety
imagine.
brake.
Yeah.
As soon as you turn the safety brake off, it works.
It's just like, just move that
Literally,
slightly to the right.
it was like, let's go 45, and
But
yeah,
the
that'll
thing
be
is,
good.
you
shot.
need to have, like, I've got construction background knowledge,
Yeah, so you know
Yeah,
how it
you-
works.
and with a crane, you don't want to fucking slam it all the way one direction and then
Just
slam
fucking-
all the way the other direction. You've got to slowly
gentle.
go.
I said I'd have absolutely no idea. I fix cars like
Yeah,
This doesn't make the perfect shot. I'll just move this slightly to the left.
it is
I
like
could
that though.
not believe your bollocks when you just like started pressing some buttons and the cunt fired up and you just like panned around to the right there.
I've got my friend in Germany. I got him to stand on it was a horizontal crane, and like on the horizontal cranes, you've got the I want to say the cradle carriage that goes along,
Yeah.
and on that there'll be a personnel carriage for when they do the maintenance. So he was stood in the personnel carriage on the cradle, and I drove him out to the middle. And he was stood there, and then I drove the crane in 360 degrees while he was static in the middle. And we had a long exposure that was just like, it looked like interstellar,
Yeah, like a perfect arc almost.
Yeah. but a static person and a static crane in the middle of the shot. Super cool photo.
Man,
Couldn't capture it any other way other than like graphic design or I don't know.
Photoshop or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think what I've been sort of holding off asking you is the base jumping. For anyone that doesn't know, do you want to give a quick rundown of what base jumping is?
Jumping from fixed objects. It's called base jumping because of the B, the A, the S, and the E. The B stands for building, the A stands for antenna, S stands for span, which is a bridge or anything that spans between two objects, which is tall enough to jump from.
Is it true that it's the most dangerous extreme sport?
Depends how you
highest
undergo
fatality rate.
I don't know.
Ain't dead yet, bitch.
I don't know factually, but the sport's been going for 50 years, I think, maybe.
Jesus,
I want to say 50 years.
God, you wouldn't be doing that in the fucking 70s, would you?
And in
What does the E stand for?
E stands for Earth, which is cliffs. 500, not even 500, 433 people have died in those 50 years. So, ratio-wise, it's not.
Well, yeah, but
I've probably killed more mechanics.
if you think over, so you got 50 years, so approximately just under 10 people a year, but there are a lot less people base jumping than there are
Motorcycles.
Yeah, so it's all proportional, isn't it? It's all it's
You think about the ratio of people who base jump in comparison to the ratio of skiers.
I think it's one of those things. Is if you ask a base jumper like yourself, do you know anyone that's died in the sport?
I mean, I'm gonna say yes.
Well, there you go. It's you could ask anyone does extreme motocross or whatever, and they go, oh, I know of this guy, but did you know him personally? And I imagine that you personally know people that aren't here anymore thanks to it. Not thanks to it, but because of it.
Since I left rehab, since I left hospital, my first and biggest hike was, I don't know, it was like 5.8 miles or something in an afternoon with my friend Mael, and we spent the evening or the afternoon walking around a certain area in the valley where my friend, who, when I was jumping like an active, drinking beers in the pub with, he had died wingsuiting, and we were looking for his helmet and his camera. He had like a fly sight, which is like a data tracking device on your helmet, which shows how fast you're going, your height, your speed, acceleration, whatever, all of that stuff. You can download it and see it on a graph.
Yeah.
They wanted this information for location, and I don't know, like you can build a profile off of a fly sight graph to figure out where something went wrong in somebody's flight. So if you say 100 people have all got fly sights on their helmet, and there's one exit, like one in particular jump, and all the same 100 people jump that same jump. They've all got different fly sight records, and you can compare them on a graph and see who flies the best, who performs the best, who's got the best exit, who starts flying the quickest, who glides the furthest, whatever. And it will all be different. Like the person with the best glide will have a different start. The person with the best start will have, I don't know, a different opening height, whatever. I don't know. But when you find this device on a helmet or wherever, you'll plug it in and you'll figure out
what went wrong.
Yep.
What happened?
Yeah. Well, that sort of data is going to give you an insight as to, all these things. It's like they say
better than a camera. Well, a camera would be better, but it's like the one down.
It's
from
like
a
a
camera.
black box
Yep.
from an airplane.
Exactly.
like all this. What is it they say in certain industries? The guidelines and rules are written in blood.
Aye.
And I think that's fucking true of what you do.
Yeah, you could say that.
There's a lot of variables. I'm not trying to like oversimplify what you do.
could do everything right. Absolutely everything right.
Absolutely.
And then still something will bite you in the ass.
And you could be completely opposite. You could be somebody who is the most risky, stupid cunt, jumping in the worst conditions, throwing ridiculous aerials, pitching at the most awful times. And for some reason, it just goes right the whole time.
It always goes right for you. Yeah.
It's, that's what's kind of so, maybe the scariest factor behind it, the uncertainty.
So what the fuck happened then?
I clearly had a bit of a bad day.
That is the fucking understatement of the fucking century, I
when
think.
I messaged, he sent me a picture back of his legs in these fucking metal frames. Yeah, when I'm back, mate. It's like,
you picture that shit, like the big ass cast with like the metal frames on.
Both legs? Was it both?
It was both legs.
Yeah, it was both legs.
That was our man here.
You weren't fucking moving.
No, it was temporary fixation, which is what you saw and what I saw for the first time when I woke up.
At least you fucking saw something. At least you woke up. That's the start.
Yeah, for sure. I was super lucky that I mean, it's pure down. I'm not going to say that I had anything to do with the reason I'm alive, because I was unconscious and I had no control over what I was doing.
So do you,
from the first point of which I was unconscious.
Do you remember the jump itself?
I remember exiting. I remember free falling. I remember pitching, like starting my deployment, and then I remember having a snappy 180, which is the parachute opening 180 degrees
the wrong way.
Yeah, so you jump away from the cliff.
So all your lines are twisted. And when you have half rotation.
Yeah, half rotation. If you have a 180, and then you'll twist round in your harness and face, and then you'll have clear lines again. If it's a clear 180, that's all it'll be. For some reason, with mine, it was a 180, but my
self-right.
My twists were more than 180. So
so you were just past that point.
So it's like the parachute would come out like 360 for 20.
Yeah, something like that. Nice.
I had a 420 and didn't blaze it. I stacked it into a cliff.
And that was the last thing you remember?
The last thing I remember is so sometimes if you have a 180 in line twist, you can like move your head and look up at your canopy. When you have a malfunction in skydiving or in base, when you have the malfunction, you want to look at your canopy and visualize what malfunction you're having.
What's going on?
Because you have different types of malfunctions. You can have a line over, you can have a tension knot, you can have a step through. I don't know. It depends how you pack and what type of jump you're doing. But because I had line twists, the way the harness works is you have two risers that come off from pretty much where your shoulders are, like your clavicle, and they go up to maybe just above your head. And when it gets to above your head, that's when it splits off into all of the lines of the parachute.
Yeah.
And where these risers are, which were just above the head from the shoulders, it was like twisted from the shoulders, pinning my head down, and the twists were behind my head. I don't know, like stopping the...
So it's like usually the cross of the lines is behind your head, preventing you from bringing your head back and straight.
Yeah. So you imagine when a parachute's open, if you've got your arms in like a Y direction, that's the way the lines are going.
Will go, yeah.
So if all of those lines are twisted...
They're all coming into the center.
They're all going to like...
pinch.
Yeah.
Going to create like an X above your head. Yeah. So
pinching above my head, stopping it from being able to look up at the malfunction, seeing what's wrong with my canopy, seeing which direction it's facing.
This is all happening in fucking seconds.
How many twists I've got, seeing which direction my twists are.
You imagine trying to work that out as you're falling from the sky. How many twists have I got? Which way do I need to rotate myself?
What do I need to do?
You can't lift your head back to even see this.
Yeah, I pretty much had maybe 4 seconds of, I've got a 180. Oh, that's a toggle. I grabbed my toggle, tried to turn my canopy around, but because
the job's fucked.
Toggles are in those locked lines, like all the lines are twisted. When you pull, like those lines are made out of material called Dacron. maybe if you were to bunch a load of shoelaces together and you have tension in them and you pull one of them, you're not going to be able to regain like the tension in that until you loosen all of those shoelaces.
Yep.
So that toggle was locked in the twists.
Oh, fuck.
So if you think about if I had no twists and I was doing a spiral, I could just pull that toggle, and then let go of the toggle, and the toggle would go back up just with the pressure of the canopy. But because there was twists there, it locked the toggle when I tried to correct the malfunction of the 180.
Yeah.
But during this time of me correcting and not correcting the twists, I'd hit the cliff, knock myself unconscious. Didn't know what the fuck happened after then, but I was still locked in those twists, and I was spiraling towards whatever was underneath me. I don't know if I hit the cliff at all on the way before I was spiraling, but
you've got no recollection of the actual impact itself.
I do not remember hitting anything. The last thing I remember is it's called a stall. You know, in an aeroplane before you land, it's like a floaty feeling.
Yeah.
So I had like when you land a parachute, before you land, you
just get that sort of slow
pull both your toggles at the same time, and it's called a flare. And then you feel like it's called a stall, and then you start to fly backwards if you flare for too long.
I've done one tandem jump, so I kind of
that flareish feeling. That's the last thing I remember. And then I woke up in hospital with those scaffolding rods on my legs.
So
and I had a fucking massive black eye as well.
Yeah, I saw the fucking picture.
That was hideous.
Never had a black eye in my life.
It was brutal.
The first time I get a black eye, it's given to me by Cliff.
I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a claim to fame. So how the fuck do you, obviously you've hit the cliff, you're unconscious, you're fucked. Like, no, the guys on the ground, we saw the video, the only video you've got is somebody videoing you looking up and seeing that you've got in trouble, whack you at the cliff. How the fuck do you get off this cliff?
Well,
for all intents and purposes, they don't know if you're fucking dead or what.
Yeah, they both thought I was dead, basically. And they were making every effort to try and make sure that I was alive. But for 20 minutes straight, I was not moving. And they thought I was dead for 20 minutes.
They got up to you then?
Not up to where I was, but up to like the ledge, which was maybe 50 meters below where I was.
Right.
And they could kind of see a little bit of fabric and color from my suit to my canopy. And then my friend Joe, he says the first sign of movement, contact that he saw from me was me putting both my middle fingers in the air like this.
No!
I shit you not. I just went like this to him.
Gangster till the end.
I shit you not, that's exactly what he told me. And I don't remember this, but I feel like if I was in this situation, it's what I would have done.
Yeah, subconsciously.
Just
fuck you.
Yeah.
Ain't dead yet, motherfucker!
Job fucked.
Ironically, the accident I had 2 years ago was also with Joe.
God, he's a bad omen.
Yeah, when I fucked it paragliding.
Sounds like a curse.
I mean, he kept me alive the first time.
What happened the first time?
I was paragliding. It's a bit of a different parachute situation.
Yeah, I know what paragliding is, yeah.
But, hit some rotary wind, it's called. Very unstable wind, like when you hit turbulence in an aeroplane.
Yeah.
But when you're flying a paraglider,
slightly more susceptible to it.
Yeah, they rely on pressure to keep them inflated. Yeah. And when there's no pressure in the air or in the wing, they just fucking collapse or turn into a jellyfish. And I just had my wing turn into a jellyfish.
You
started free falling, and then as I started free falling, the wing would repressurize, but a different direction. And the direction that it repressurized in, I was too low to the ground, surged. It's like a pendulum effect where you speed up and build up the pressure in the canopy again.
Yeah.
And at the point of which I was at the quickest, I hit a very large, hard rock and shattered all my heels on my spine.
So it's not the first time you have diced with actual death?
Yeah, the first time I was a bit inexperienced with a paraglider. And it was my own fuck up, really. But
yeah, you learn, don't you?
With base, I was very current, and it was like...
Yeah, we watched like fucking heaps loads of footage of you just being like, yay!
Full send.
Yeah, I wasn't, I wouldn't say I was super experienced with like aerials and doing flips and stuff. Like I knew how to do them, but I wasn't, I wouldn't go to a building and be like, yeah, I'm going to fucking game of this. Just because that wasn't my mindset with base.
Yeah.
I was always like kind of safety first aspect. I'd always wait for the wind. Wind is a very important aspect in base. Like if you throw a plastic bag in the air and it blows, you imagine if you're under a parachute, like that's going to have an effect on you if the wind is blowing. Like you may be the weight, the load that it's bearing on that wing as it's flying, but it's still going to have an input on
the environment is far more powerful than you are.
There's a saying with parachuting that if you do not find a landing area, then a landing area will find you.
I can wholly understand that.
Fucking brutal.
Nice. Good old gravity.
Jesus.
That 9.81. Oh.
So how do you get off this cliff face in Switzerland?
I was rescued by a helicopter.
That looks like the cliff face that you're on is a very shallow face by the looks of things from where I was looking at it. Is it or isn't it?
You jump overhung cliffs.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to jump cliffs which are underhung, so you have to have a bit of forward speed in order to clear the talus, not hit the cliff. And some of the easier available cliffs to jump in Switzerland are the ones that are underhung and you need to track away from. So the ones that would be, I'd say, I don't know statistics wise that it's the most people have died on this exit, but within 3 days of me being in Switzerland, a guy died on this exit. It's called High Ultimate, and it's like you take 2 cable cars and a 5-minute walk and you're there. But it's the most
that's scarily easy for
accessible but serious jump in the valley.
Me and you could go and do this.
That's the worst thing though. The more accessible
you could. There's fucking tourists that go down to the exit and watch people jump.
Yeah, no.
That's the worst. That's the problem. Is it's so accessible.
Yeah. But
if you've got a fucking 10-mile hike to get there, no cunts jumping off it apart from people that really want to be there.
There was a guy called Jean, French guy. He
fucking French again.
We were jumping with him for a while. He was a onesie jumper. Also jumped in a 2-piece. Onesie is like a onesie, but
like overalls.
Big fly
overalls.
Suit.
Yeah.
But you have like I guess from your armpit to your toes will be like joined, and from your knees maybe will be joined.
Like a half wingsuit type thing. Yeah.
But you've usually got movement from your arms, so you can lift your arms up.
Okay, so you're not strapped in this like you're not strapped at a 45 degree. Yeah, I'm with you.
They call wingsuits body bags as well, just because so many people die in them.
Yeah.
Have you tried one?
A wingsuit? No, purely because they're called body bags. From the first day that I ever saw a parachute, I was told that they were body bags.
Roger that.
My mentor was a smart man. Still is.
So you're lifted off this fucking cliff face by helicopter. And you taken straight to hospital.
Well, yeah, he's not going to stop by the fucking kebab, is he?
I drive swinging in for a cheeky doner, can he? A bit of fondue, like, yeah.
Nah, there's a company called Alpine Base in the valley.
Right.
And they're the ones who do all the rescues.
Okay.
They have rescue like 3 helicopters, I think. Some of them are for transportation, some of them are for skydiving, and some of them are for rescues. And the rescue one picked me up off, I think they've got 2 rescue ones actually. One's got a 200-meter line and one has a 50-meter line. The 50-meter line, they pick people out trees from. The 200-meter line, they pick people off cliffs from. Yeah. And they picked me up with the long line. So instead of like having a helicopter come down to me,
they hover, they drop the line down.
Not even somebody like abseiling down. Like the helicopter takes off, and it has a line which is being released as it's taken off.
Oh, it's a fixed line.
As it gets 200 meters in the air, somebody will attach onto that line that stood on the ground, and then the helicopter continues taking off, and then it will go to wherever it needs to go. Have the recce, the people on the end of the line.
Pretty advanced. Like
this is the most advanced way to do it.
Like I say, the most efficient way, I expect. Yeah. You're not hovering, waiting for something to come down, are you?
Yeah.
It's a fixed line.
They've just got something on a radio that says stop.
Yeah,
go
they can
forward,
swing in, stop, down, upright, like when you're guiding someone in with a boom or something. Like crowd back shag.
But that's a huge fucking pendulum. That is a...
Yeah, but I suppose they're experienced enough to...
They move very, very slowly, but when there's high winds, they have to kind of
Vamos.
use the elevation of the helicopter in assistance with the wind, if that makes sense. So the wind blows them, and then they decrease altitude, and then they'll whoever's on the end of the line will land where they need to land.
I know. I've done shit like that.
But they will always stay on the line of the helicopter. If there's nowhere to secure, like no trees or no bolts, they will have a drill system with them, and they'll drill a bolt in, or usually 2 bolts, and then they'll create a safety on the cliff for the helicopter to then leave. There's usually 2 people on the end of the long line,
right?
And they'll secure themselves into the cliff, make themselves safe, and they've got their own rope lines that they can then descend to the patient. So
this is a lot. They've done this once or twice.
Yeah. Oh, yes. A whole fucking 50 years of it in the valley.
Yeah.
I said, this is not their first rodeo.
But yeah, I got picked up with that long line, dropped in a field, and I think they stripped me bollock naked and poked me with a few drugs, put me in a coma, and then I was taken in an air ambulance, which was much quicker than the rescue helicopter, to go to Bern, which is an hour's drive, maybe 30 miles. And in Bern, it's the best trauma hospital in either Europe or the world, or one of the best in the world. I know that. So they fixed me right up.
And then when did you wake up? How many hours, days later was it?
My jump was at like 5 or 6 o'clock or something, and then
in the evening.
And then I woke up at like 10:30, I think, in hospital.
So you weren't out for too long then?
At night or in the morning?
Night, I think.
Oh, so you were out for what? 28 hours or something?
I've no idea.
Okay, you still have no...
I still have no idea.
Oh, right, okay.
I have it might be on my old phone, but...
It might be one day, it might be 4, like, we have no idea. And you wake up
I'm pretty sure it was the same day, like...
Thing is, that when in that sort of circumstance, when you wake up, you're not, oh my God, I'm so thankful to be alive. You just wake up like, what the fuck?
Well,
and then I suppose only later on do you realise, shit, I've woken up, I am alive.
Yeah. 16th of September 2022, 38 minutes past 10, I took a picture of my fucked car.
That was the picture you sent to me. And I'll bang all these up on the Instagram if that's all right with you.
I mean,
give people a bit of...
I think I'd accept people laughing at that.
Well, not laughing, but just give a bit of perspective to what we're talking about, because it's fucking unreal. I mean, so you obviously, how long are you in hospital for? Your legs are pindled. So the main damage is to your legs.
Shaz got more titanium.
I know. We could scrap him and get 400 quid for him.
At least.
Take him straight down to fucking Kingers.
That's a kneecap, mind.
This is... So, is that's still in you now? These plates, bolts, nails?
That's the one I saw.
It's unbelievable. Yeah. Is that still in you now?
Oh, yeah, you can feel that.
Holy shit.
Like, even through my childhood.
This looks like Meccano for anyone that's listening.
That's it. It is
We'll put these pictures up in the week so you can have a...
They had to bend this plate in order for it to fit the shape of my femur.
I can see can you see the shitty kink in it? They've tried to bend it over a fucking table.
Fully. They've had it on a table, just hit it with a fucking shoe or something.
You can tell that's not been for a proper bender. They've been
fully. I can feel that on the end of my... that causes me so much pain on the end of my... the medial side of my femur now, because it's not in contact with the bone.
So you can see the air gap. Yeah.
There's a big fucking gap between the bone and where the plate is.
That's like someone's gone mad with a Paz load and just been like, yeah, fucking I ain't going anywhere, shag douche.
I was in contact with a. It wasn't any of the doctors or physiotherapists from my hospital.
Yeah.
But it was a German physiotherapist messaged me on Instagram, and she was like, "You are so fucking lucky to have kept your leg." Like I sent her the medical documents, and she's like, I don't know how they didn't amputate
no way
below the above the knee amputation.
Oh mate, that's the worst
one. Because my kneecap and my distal femur are so fucked.
Above the knee's fucked. Like you got no bend then, have you?
Exactly,
if you're below the knee, it's not great.
You're just relying on gravity.
Yeah. You say you're relying on gravity, bring everything straight as you put your leg down. Fuck. So how long are you in hospital for?
3 weeks.
And then it's...
You guess how much it cost?
So this is something we spoke about at the very start.
Switzerland is hideously
Well, this is what I said.
expensive.
I was like, holy fuck, Drive. Like, are you going to be okay financially coming out of this? And he's... so how many days before this happened did you do something very clever?
5.
What
I'm going to say maybe 2 weeks, actually. But it was 5 days before this accident, of which my UK health card showed up in the post, which made me able to
all insured
survive.
You'd be like, you've been fucking, like, it would be horrendous. You'd be paying off for the rest of your life.
I would be. I've got to pay the helicopter bills, I found out.
You still?
Yeah.
How much do you want to?
I think it's like 7k helicopter bills.
Not as much as I thought.
No.
That's doable.
Yep.
It's gross.
The
but
helicopters are out there to help people. They're not out there to rape people.
No. So what was your bill?
The hospital, 3 weeks in the hospital was 61.5 grand.
Oh my god! And the what was the rehab?
I've got no idea yet.
Yeah, I mean the insurance company haven't got that yet.
No, the first day was 1.5 grand though.
And you were in hospital for how long? In rehab, sorry.
I'm going to say 3 months.
So you're
100 days in rehab.
holy fuck! So it's near. If you going off that, you're looking at probably like 100, 200 grand.
Yep.
Like,
Thank you, NHS.
we were socialized medicine for the fucking win. Oh fucking hell!
Fucking mind-blowing. That is fucking unreal.
Mm-hmm. It really is.
So when you came out, you stayed with somebody
Nope.
for a certain amount.
I came out and I was solo in my car. I decided to go back to the valley and see where my accident took place, and I thought, let's go look at the cliff and see if I can remember anything. See if I look at the accident, like where it took place, see if it jogs my memory, and it didn't. I was just staring at a cliff for ages. But it was maybe about an hour and a half of me just, wow. Some shit went down here recently, and now I'm here again.
Does it give you a lot of perspective?
Yes.
Yeah.
Big time.
Is it the whole life is fragile, or is it the whole like live every day?
I'd say both and neither at the same time. Just because you really don't know when shit's going to go south.
No, you don't.
You really do not. Like, obviously, you want to, live life to the max, bro. Yeah, every day is vital. Appreciate it. But, like, you just want to live your life and enjoy it, but you don't want to live it, like, take the piss out of it.
No, don't. Like,
and, like,
you said, like, you're an experienced bloke that knew what you were doing, and like, shit can just go wrong.
Yep.
Fucking scary, man. It is, honestly.
We've seen that numerous times on, like, shitloads of different things. Like, shit can just go wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, we're lucky to have you here, mate. We really are.
That's what I thought for, like, the first, since I woke up in hospital.
Yeah, literally. Like, you sent me those photos, I was like, holy mother of God. So, yes.
When you put it into, like, a logical thinker's mind of just how something can happen in a certain way, like a certain process, that you end up alive after, like,
something
just
that
throw somebody under a bus and be like, oh wow, you survived that, nice job, yeah, good job.
Yeah.
Exactly that.
It's fucking mad.
Because when you're under a parachute and you've got gravity and the parachute's kind of collapsing, then gravity is kind of
wins.
Accelerating. The more the parachute collapses, like if you're hitting a cliff repeatedly, then it's just going to keep on fucking, and you're going to fall quicker, and you're going to hit the cliff more, and then you're going to have more injuries with the more you hit the cliff.
Yeah, the weird thing that I've thought about since, like, you obviously sent me the pictures of you all fucked up and all the stuff we've spoken about since, is the scary thing I think about is that I messaged you, and if you never messaged back, I would have just thought, oh, another bloke doesn't message back. Like, but you could have been dead, and I would have never known. How weird's that?
You would have been like, God,
What's your fucking ignorant prick? But that's what I mean. Like, I would have no idea. Like, I would have had no clue. That Instagram would have still sat there, and it's that fucks me up. Like, in my head, that really fucking plays with me because I would have never known. Gone on the rest of my life and have just been totally oblivious to it.
the longer, I think it's in the same concept as the same, like the longer somebody is alive, the more they experience this feeling.
Yeah.
But if you're a base jumper, this kind of accelerates. Like you experience more people dying, more friends dying, unexpectedly, like just gone without even saying goodbye, and then just opens you up to being more like, holy shit, I need to appreciate people a little bit more, maybe.
I don't know. Yeah. Well, Dylan, fucking happy you're here, mate. Literally, probably the only person that I've had on here and been like, yeah, fucking, like, we are lucky to have you here. So yeah,
what a mess.
No, we appreciate you coming down, man. Hell of a life, and I think it'd be great to get you back on for another episode because
we have not covered half the shit we had written down.
Not even half. Like not even half. I'm looking at the time card, like fuck Jesus.
Greg,
so, yeah,
Greg will be mad.
Yeah, he will. So yeah, appreciate you coming on.
Not sorry, Greg.
Yeah, fuck you, Greg.
Yeah, fuck Greg.
He won't listen to this anyway. He listens to like 5 minutes at the start. So fuck you, Greg. If you listen to this,
I'm old Greg.
I'm old Greg. Where's the button? Do it. Oh, he's looking for it.
If my grandmother had wheels, she would have been a bike. I'm old Greg.
I'm old Greg.
Nice to meet you.
I'm old Greg.
The guy that, so the 360 camera I was wearing.
My grandmother had wheels, she would have been a bike.
Oh no, shit! No, it's not that guy.
No, you thought it was Gino Campo.
No, the guy. I'm coming fast. Why are you coming fast?
Yeah.
I don't know if you sponsored him or what, but the guy that owned, who gave me the 360 camera on my head, that I got all those 360 videos with, he, I guess, sponsored that. Why are you coming fast, guy?
Why are you coming so fast?
Why are you coming fast?
Who is this? I'm lost, man.
What?
No, don't look at me like a fucking idiot. I don't know.
You're a fucking idiot.
He is technically a nobody, but he was a somebody for a very short period of time.
So a cyclist came around the corner on a bike and kind of lost control.
Yeah.
And this bloke was like
fixing his car.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
Why are you coming so fast?
Yeah, and he bangs his head on the wheel arch.
Fuck
yeah,
you.
he's like, oh, God. Yeah, no, I remember.
Fuck you, bloody.
I remember. Yeah, just before we finish, massive shout out to the sponsor of this episode, Matthew Maggs, Yorkshire Field Sports on Instagram.
Thank you, Matthew.
Yeah. Lunatic, survives bowel cancer,
Climbs numerous mountains.
climbing 3 mountains, sorry. Fuck, I don't do him a disservice.
Oh, sorry.
Climbing 3 mountains,
I thought
also
one was a
having
hill.
surgery between when we speak now and when he's going. First weekend of July. If you want to get involved, we really appreciate. There'll be a fundraiser on the Instagram post. Link in the episode description, all that shit. Every fucking penny counts. Yeah, cancer's fucking wank. So
That's dick.
like we can, if everybody we raise would be great. And it's like we say, Matthew's been a massive supporter of the podcast, has pushed it out for us and helped us grow. So it's the least we can do. It's the least we can fucking do for you, man. If you want to join him on his absolute fucking madness of a trek, you can get in touch with him or us. It's the first weekend in July. He's looking to do it. So it's all in a good cause. And like you say, one of our listeners that suffered with it. So there you go. Sweet.
Big up, Matty.
Yeah. You fit?
Fit.
Right.
Fit as a fiddle.
Thank you everyone for listening. I've been Reg.
I've been Marlon.
I've been Ocean.
We'll catch you on the next one, everyone. Cheerio!